number one racket eater in the world.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
Vegans ruin everything. Everything great about planet Earth, the United States of America, all across the state of Arkansas, has been one way, shape, or form affected in the worst way by vegans, including the Nathan's Hot Dog Contest, which apparently Joey Chestnut's status is in jeopardy right now based on his sponsorship with Impossible's Beyond Meat. Now, I've had this stuff. It's not any good. I've had plenty of Nathan's hot dogs over my life. They're great. I've had the Hebrew National ones. They're good too. I mean, there's so many better hot dogs, even just like Frank's from Walmart that you get like 8 of them for $1 or better than that Impossible Beyond Meat. But that is the issue right now. That is a beef of mine. Yeah, whatever it is. But
Bar S brand?
Yeah, whatever, the ones that don't have any type of beef, any significant meat outside of rat poop in them, but they taste good, and that's what matters. And again, that is a beef of mine as we start this morning. The fact that Joey Chestnut may or may not be competing in this upcoming Nathan's Hot Dog Contest because of his, I guess, idiocy with signing with Impossible Beyond Meat. Doesn't make any sense to me based on
It doesn't seem like a fit for him, does it?
No, it does not. Based on his status as a major league eater and specifically what he's known for, which is the Nathan's Hot Dog Contest. Apparently, he's paid like $200,000 last year by Nathan's to attend, and he signed like a $1.4 million contract, I think, with them too recently.
Yeah, so that means Beyond Meat's paying more. That's what that means.
I guess, man, or 1.2.
So is it his idiocy or his profiteering that's messed it up? I don't know.
There's a certain level of money that I think I would do things for, but I don't know if I would ever want to be sponsored by.
Which one would he rather eat?
Real ones, I would hope.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
what made him famous? So I know what I'd rather eat. There'll be no Beyond Meat on my grill this holiday weekend coming up for July 4th. I can tell you that. Hey, largemouth bass, they wouldn't bite on that Beyond Meat stuff, would they? If you put that on the end of a hook, there's no way. That's why you need the famous Yum Dinger. Whether you're in Arkansas, Oklahoma, or anywhere on one of the Great Lakes, the famous Yum Dinger is made in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes. They're in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the country and all over the world. Wacky Rigging, the 5-inch model, can't be beat for bass right now here in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Find them at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
So we will get to our beefs coming up in just a bit. I've got 3 or 4 of them this morning involving Joe Chestnut, Aaron Rodgers, and a schedule tidbit or two. And speaking of the schedule, I don't want to say the full release because it's technically not full, but you got more intent on where the game times are going to be. And they have an idea. Some are windowed for 2 hours, some are windowed for 4.5, and others you'll know are at night, like the LSU-Arkansas game, which I know people are excited about. You're a little disappointed maybe that the Texas game is at 11 a.m. Maybe that's a small beef of mine, but it is either going to be on ESPN or ABC. They're not burying it on the SEC network, so that is a marquee time slot, specifically right after College game day. But this is, to me, when they talked about this, when Greg Sankey talked about this, I thought this was great. I thought there were some things that the conference does very poorly. I get frustrated because I feel like they put fans in second or third in their line of thinking. But this, to me, and the television networks with ESPN, ABC, ESPN, which are all, again, accompanied in one network and one company, this is a big deal to me, and I think it's good for fans across our conference that they know way out in front really where their game times are going to be for hotels, for lodging, for food, all this stuff that we don't necessarily think about each and every week, but a lot of our listeners do.
You think that's why they did it? It's for the fans? That was their priority? You really believe that?
Well, tell me where I'm wrong then. Tell me why they're doing it so far out ahead.
Oh, I think that's somewhere down in the consideration, but I think it's for their institutions. I think this is something their coaches have wanted. Maybe I'm just too skeptical, but I don't believe that, the demand, because I don't hear a large outcry for people demanding to know months in advance when the game times are. We've never taken a call that demands we know, when the November games are going to be played in June. But it is more convenient to have a window, or at least a part of the day. I think the coaches want it because coaches are type A organizational freaks. And I imagine this is the time of the year they're drawing up their plans and getting their logistics worked out and meeting with their operational people because they're planning right now how they're going to attack a road trip to, Columbia, Missouri on November the 30th. That's when these plans are made. So I think it's institutions want them, both from a coaching standpoint and an administrative standpoint, so they can plan things. Labor's harder to find than ever before, all these things. Mm-hmm. Fans are somewhere. I mean, they may paint the picture this was first and foremost for the fans, but I'm skeptical about that. I do like it. It helps us out to plan our days, to plan our weekends, to get our workforce in place to cover the Razorbacks. So I like it from that standpoint because now we can know what to do and start working on things far, far more in advance. And it does the same thing for, just like you said, fans wanting to, do I need a flight on Friday or can I take the first one in Saturday morning? Now you kind of know. So I do think there's a great deal of benefit for the fans. First thing I started counting was 11 a.m. games. There's 4 total, only 2 at home. The Texas game, I know you're a little fired up about that being 11. I don't think you could play it at midnight or 2 a.m. It doesn't matter. It's Texas. You'll have a good crowd. You'll have a full house. 11 a.m. doesn't bother me for that game. In fact, if you're going to pick a game, 11 a.m., that might be the one to put there. You get night games with LSU that's guaranteed, and Tennessee's a flex game. It could be at night, but no worse than 2:30 in the afternoon. So I like this schedule. You're not overloaded with 11 a.m. games at home, and you have 4 total, and 2 of them are road games. One at Oklahoma State, which was out of the league's control, but I think a great spot on ABC. And, if 11 a.m. favors the road team, you'll take it. And then you've got, Mississippi State, I believe, was the other. Yeah, and that's in that early flex. Mm-hmm. I think we all got to learn what flex means because, you see early window and it says 11 to 12. I'm not completely clear on how they're going to stagger those, but clearly there's 2 games on the schedule that will get staggered.
Yeah, so you'll have between ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, and the SEC network, you'll have those staggered at 11 to noon. And then afternoon means 2 to 3:30. 2:30 to 3:30. Night is 5 to 7. And these are all Central times, by the way. Flex is any time between 2:30 and 7 o'clock Central. So there are several time slots that they will have these in throughout the upcoming college football season.
And, I know you're going to zero in at some point on Arkansas, Texas not being where you want, but when you look at some of the other games on the schedule that day, it does make a little bit of sense why I think you get maybe the 3rd best window. And I think, playing at noon Eastern or 11 Central probably is the 3rd best window right now in this conference. All right, what do you think about the times? Does it matter to you? McLarty Daniel Hotline open 877-377-6963. Call our buddies at the Fence Man. If you had a fence that was damaged in a recent storm in northwest Arkansas, driving through Rodgers a couple days ago on Walnut, man, the damage is still, the cleanup is ongoing. If you've got that kind of damage in your yard to a fence or maybe just a few sections blown over by straight line wind and you need fence repair, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. 782-3936. They'll be on their way to give you a free, no obligations quote, and financing's available. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
Your beef's coming up next.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Got my keg in the freezer. We're ready to get this thing rolling and go home, baby.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
It was a very good conversation, Ty.
This is the Morning Rush.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with the best incentives in years. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service with Mercury, Malibu, Lowe, Camus, and Garmin will keep your boat in peak condition. Kofer's also has a fully stocked pro shop and updated RV and boat storage facilities. Find Kofer's online at Kofers.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, helping their customers create a lifetime of memories for over 50 years.
Locally owned Jaeger's Ace Hardware is ready to make the summer and Father's Day even better. Now through June 17th, save up to $200 on Traeger Pro 34, Pro 575, and Ironwood XL wood pellet grills. For as little as $499, you can own the gold standard in outdoor grills. And Traeger pellets are $2 off per bag as well. Want a big green egg instead? Jaeger's has those and all the accessories Dad will ever need. Your outdoor grill headquarters is Jaeger's Ace Hardware, where we always offer real service with real savings.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, the Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. Don't forget to shop for Father's Day at the Solid Rock.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Sportsman's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Hey, Wes. Billy, K is for horses. Are my ears that long?
Oh, you got me again. I'm gonna order a large Boss Hog pizza for fishing tomorrow.
That's a lot of food. You taking a friend?
No, sir. I'm gonna use it as bait.
Pizza as bait for fishing?
Yes'm. The catfish love 'em. Some Jim's Razorback pizza.
They do?
Yes'm. They chase the bacon faster than green grass through a goose.
Bacon? Never would have thunk it.
Yup, and they come right to the river's edge when I call them too. Woo! Fish suey!
Oh, blessed Billy. All right, son. Have fun fishing.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, Mike.
Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
Like that.
Say goodbye. Darren McFadden, 80 yards, touchdown.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Sure, that DMAC highlight right there, as we're less than 80 days out from Arkansas' season opener against UAPB. We'll have our first football Friday this Friday as we transition at the conclusion of this week. I'm excited to get more into football. I know that Phil Steele has come out with a couple guys on Arkansas that have made his all-SEC selections. You'll continue to see some of these preseason stuff. Thoughts, text, calls, welcome here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. But our beefs are coming up next.
All right, we got plenty to get into, including what's hacking you off this morning. We are brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. You need a job or you want to change jobs. You're tired of what you're doing now. Go online to jobs.crh.com. They've got an interactive map. So whether you're in Boone County or Benton County, whether you're in Washington County, Sebastian County, wherever you're at in our state, or if you're relocating to Kansas City or Muskogee, Oklahoma, or the Tulsa area, there's jobs all over this part of the country that's available with this great company. That's jobs.crh.com. Great pay, great benefits. But I can tell you, if you're a licensed CDL driver with no automatic restriction, they have a job for you right now driving one of their great trucks. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
So every single July, I take in the Nathan's Hot Dog eating contest. Some of you do, some of you don't. But I think almost all of you, if not every single one of you, know the name Joey Chestnut, who has won multiple times over the course of his major league eating career. This comes from Nathan's and the hot dog contest. We are devastated to learn that Joey Chestnut has chosen to represent a rival brand, Impossible Beyond Meat, that sells plant-based hot dogs rather than the 2024.
That's un-American.
I know. Nathan's famous 4th of July hot dog. Joey Chestnut is an American hero. We would love nothing more to have him in the Nathan's famous international hot dog eating contest. We hope he returns while he is not representing a rival brand. That is from them. Now, Joey responded by saying, I was gutted to learn from the media that after 19 years, I'm banned from the July 4th hot dog eating contest. I love competing in that event. I love celebrating America with all my fans over the great country on the 4th, and I have been training to defend my title. My understanding is if he gets out of this sponsorship with Impossible Beyond Meat, he can then participate. But with this sponsorship, I don't think he's going to be allowed. That's what I read.
Didn't you say they were paying him like $1.2 million?
So, according to the New York Post, Chestnut received $200,000 to take part in the hot dog competition last year and was offered a 4-year, $1.2 million deal.
By who?
Sounded like that.
By Nathan?
That came across.
Clearly, Beyond Meat's paying him more than that, which to me, those two things don't go together. Be like Billy Graham doing an ad for Bud Light. That just doesn't go together with me. So I don't understand why he's doing that, but I imagine the Benjamins is the reason why. So I don't know. I don't know if America's riled up about it. I tell you who you could talk to about. We went to New York City, and on our agenda of things to do while we were there for a July 4th trip in 2009 was go to the hot dog eating contest. But the logistics of getting to Coney Island and how much of the day it was going to eat up, we decided to scratch that from the agenda because we wanted to do some other things. But Jimmy Dykes, early on in his career with ESPN, was like sideline reporter, did some interviews.
Did he really?
One of his assignments every year for a while was doing the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. So if you ever want to ask someone with some firsthand experience about this event,
Jimmy Dykes
Dykes is the one that you could call on.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that was one of his early assignments in his ESPN life.
Tyler in South Korea listening this morning saying, what are Nathan's hot dogs folks thinking? Banning him. Are they nuts? Another text on the McLarty Daniel hotline coming from Troy in Charleston. Say what you want. I still say Joey's dominance is at least partially due to Kobayashi not being allowed to participate. I can't remember the backstory on Kobayashi and his banning for that, but there was, again, some not complex, but there was some complications with that whole thing, and that was his biggest competitor that he does not have to compete against year after year. I think he only ate like 60 something hot dogs. His career record was 76 in 2021, but he won last year, I think, by only eating 60-something hot dogs, which, again, is still an accomplishment.
All right, so now that we got the football schedule, and you've seen some of the game times, or at least what I call half days. You know what half of the day it's going to kick off. Which of these tailgates are you most looking forward to having a hot dog at now?
I mean, you mentioned the Texas will be rocking.
For me, it's easy.
Regardless, I would probably say LSU October 19.
Absolutely, because you know that's going to be a night game.
Yeah, and I think so. That Tennessee game to me is a big one, and that, like, just right before the bye week. But LSU, you're coming off their bye. I forget who LSU. You might have it who they played the week before. But I always a lot of times look at the opponent's week before game, and for the Tigers, that might be Ole Miss actually that they're hosting, and that
October 12th. Ole Miss is at LSU, and that's a night game.
That's what I thought. So that is one of the more the Magnolia Bowl is one of the more underrated rivalry games in the Southeastern Conference. LSU has won a ton in Baton Rouge. I think that Ole Miss hadn't beaten them there since like the mid 2000s or like the late 2000s. It's been a while, if I remember that correctly. So the expectation may be, hey, we got a big marquee win against Ole Miss, who's expected to be a top 3, top 4 team in this league. Maybe they have a letdown in Fayetteville next week, and I do like that game tonight. But, yeah, if I had to circle one, it's definitely, if I'm going to have a hot dog, it's that LSU game. And, again, Arkansas has a great home schedule. LSU, Texas, Ole Miss, and who's the Tennessee, all coming to your house, Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. The issue is you don't play your first home game, talk about a real home game, until UAB in week 3. That's the issue. And that will cycle out as of 2026, when the final game of the Texas A&M series in Jerry World is played after this season. The final game in Little Rock, hopefully, is played next season against Arkansas State, and then you'll have all your games at home, and I don't expect Arkansas to play any neutral site games anytime soon.
The other, I think, very noteworthy thing, and we've hinted around this and talked about it, but I guess this truly makes it official, is the Arkansas-Missouri game will be on Saturday and not that Friday. We always kind of expect a press release sometime, this part of the year announcing it's been moved for television to that Friday. And it is not on the schedule for the 29th. It's on the schedule for Saturday, the 30th. So that's a bit of a change that, I don't know that fans need to get used to, but just be aware of.
And I don't know, so the Ole Miss and Mississippi State game, the Egg Bowl, got moved to Friday, right, if I remember that right. So I don't know if that's 100% had to do with it, but I think that may have played an impact.
There's no SEC game on the schedule for Thanksgiving Day, so that's where we're at. Hey, Art's Barbecue Burgers and More open this afternoon, or open this morning at 11 to take care of you all day and all afternoon. 10 great burgers on the menu. Put their number in your phone. You can call ahead. They'll have it ready at the drive-up window, or you can go in and enjoy it next to Buddy's in Fort Smith on Rodgers Avenue. That's Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 452-2550 for Art's Barbecue Burgers and More.
All right, when we return, we'll talk to Richard Davenport.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
I was listening to the Morning Rush, and I thought I heard the voice of Angel.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
I'm going to have to lean towards Ty here.
This is the Morning Rush.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and we need your trade. This month, the trade-in acquisition event continues with up to 27% bonus cash on your trade on any one of our road-ready certified used cars with warranty. You can't buy a better used car, and you can't pick a better time than right now. Up to 27% bonus cash for your trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
First of all, I really don't give a flying flip about what people in Kentucky think. They're like Texas fans to me. Let them rot in hell.
Talley breaks a tackle at the 20. Talley at the 40, midfield, at the UCF 40, the 30. Talley at the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas!
You want to watch the Morning Rush, Halftime, even Ruskin and Zach? Find our live video stream on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Twitch. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio.
Sure, that little retort from Clay Henry, who joins us in an hour and a half. Always excited to catch up with Clay, as we are with our buddy Richard Davenport on the McLarty Dana Hotline. He's with Whole Hog Sports, the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. There is some recruiting news, because I think this gives coaches, you mentioned something earlier, Tom, I didn't think about, the Type A. It also allows coaches and assistants and various other recruiting coordinators to game plan a little earlier out when it comes to recruiting.
Well, I remember when Brett Bielema was here, he spoke one time he took his operations people during the summer. They got on the school plane and they went to, over about a 3-day period, every road venue they would visit that year in his first year, so they'd understand it all and get it. So, all that planning for road trips and stuff start now. Get getting the hotels, getting the buses lined up, on and on and on. I mean, there's a lot of fine tuning to that as well. Hey, we're brought to you by Riley Farm Dental. At the entrance to Riley Farms, they provide every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, of course, braces for the kids, implants and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer, they are wonderful at making sure that the experience of sitting in their dentist chair is comfortable, is not ridden with anxiety. And, for those that have a fear of going to the dentist, they try to ease all of that for you. Now, if you need a crown, you've had one come loose, or you just need that to repair some dentistry that you've got, or a need for a crown. They now offer same-day crown service. So there's no need to wait. There's no need for your dentist to send it off, and then you have to come back and make 2 different office visits. They can do it in the same day at Riley Farm Dental. 479-226-3500. 479-226-3500 for your appointment, or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Richard, I saw this Rutgers, I'm forgetting if it was an offensive or defensive lineman, committed using a large pizza that spelled out the letter R, which I thought was cool. You've seen some pretty cool commitments over the years, haven't you? Not just at Arkansas, but various other schools as well.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. Most of the time, it's they own a press conference, what have you, for their announcement. It's usually just a cap or something. Really haven't seen anything. I'm trying to think off the top of my head that was kind of very, very unique. As soon as I get off the phone, probably remember one, but can't think of anything offhand.
It's always the kid that takes one cap, puts it on, then throws it off, then takes another hat, throws it on, then throws it off, and it kind of you're waiting in the anticipation, and then he finally is like, "This is where I'm going," and he takes his jacket off a lot of times, and his family puts some stuff on that they had maybe concealed underneath, right?
Yeah, a lot of times, yeah. The shirt, the shirts of the school that he's going to and stuff like that, and they got jackets on and stuff like that.
So when I committed to the Morning Rush, I ripped off my jacket and had the Morning Rush on it. Anyway,
that was a huge announcement. I remember that. That was statewide news.
ESPN 6.
Exactly. So
yeah. Hey,
that was
schedule came out, not schedule, but the times for the games came out at least in the windows. You're going to know the 11 a.m. or the morning games. There's flex times. First thing I looked at, Richard, was how many times you're going to play in that 11 a.m. or that morning window. Arkansas's got 4, but only 2 of those at home. I know that has a huge effect on getting recruits here. The Texas game and the Ole Miss games are going to be the ones that kick off at noon or earlier in that 11 to 12 window. What was your thoughts on the times and the opponents and how that will have an impact on recruiting and visits this year?
Yeah, well, obviously Texas, a couple of things kind of hit my mind. I mean, obviously 11 a.m. crowd. I mean, the crowd would be hyped, but nothing like a night game or anything like that, or maybe even an afternoon game. But you always want games like that to be a night game, not only just for the crowd, but also for kids trying to travel from out of state. That's usually a better situation for recruits. 11 a.m. That puts a pretty good dent in kids being able to make the visit, even if you're flying. I mean, you're obviously your flight options are pretty reduced. If you don't get there about 7-8 o'clock or what have you, it's difficult to make the game. So whenever you say 11 a.m., it's definitely a hindrance as far as the recruiting.
Here's the other thing that stood out to me is when you look at the LSU and the Tennessee games, those are going to be a flex game for afternoon for Tennessee. It's going to be a night game for LSU. I went and looked at, here on this SEC master schedule, who else is playing that day? And Alabama's at Vanderbilt, Missouri's at Texas A&M, UCF's at Florida. Auburn is at Georgia, and Ole Miss is at South Carolina. That's good news for Arkansas. If you're competing for an athlete against a lot of those schools, I think Arkansas on that day, that'd be Saturday, October 5th, may have the marquee game of the day. So if a kid's trying to choose between where to make a visit, A&M's got a home game, Vandy does, Florida does, but that Arkansas-Tennessee game, Auburn at Georgia would be the one that might be a half a step ahead. But I like the fact that the competition for maybe kids picking where to go is in your favor on October 5th.
Yeah, you do kind of pay attention to that. That's for sure, because kids they gravitate towards the big games. They want to see the environment. They want to see a big game, and that's why whenever Arkansas has played Alabama in the past, it's usually when they have the most recruits for a game, and Texas game obviously a few years ago. I'm sure the numbers were very high as far as recruits, so that is something that you pay attention to if you're a coach, especially if it's down to two schools and the other school has a lesser game than you do. You kind of make hay of that a little bit.
Yeah, and the flip side is Saturday, October 19th, when you've got the night game with LSU. Alabama's at Tennessee, Georgia's at Texas, and Oklahoma, they play South Carolina, but they're at home. So, those, some games in your region with, Tennessee, Texas, and OU all hosting home games that same day. So I think it works out well on some weeks, not so well on others.
Yeah, that's just the luck of the draw, and you just got to deal with it. But it's obviously been going on for years, and it's something that you just have to deal with.
So you're our recruiting guy. You're the recruiting. How is this early release of at least windows going to affect the athletes and their parents' planning? Do you think they'll start planning these trips and visits earlier, or do you think it'll have any kind of real effect on how recruiting goes this fall with on-campus visits?
Well, I think it does help. Parents and kids to kind of look and say, well, that they have an 11 a.m. game on that day, and we're 6 hours away. We're not going to be able to make that game, but here's another game that later in the day, it's nearby that we might be able to make. I think it does help with planning. Will it make a huge difference? I don't know, but I do think it definitely gives kids and parents an up on deciding where they may want to go. But let's face it, usually around August, the majority of kids are committed. And so you're really the amount of kids trying to make decisions are a lot less. You usually have about anywhere from 16 to 20 commitments, and you're basically done, and you're being very selective with those last few kids. So again, that's another thing that you look at is most of the kids are committed, and the pool is kind of less going into the fall.
Let's talk about some future kids, Richard. I know that Quentin Murphy committed to Arkansas last week, Parkview quarterback, potentially athlete at the next level. You got a chance to take in Grayson Wilson, 2025, current Conway quarterback at Teen Camp. And I know people are always wondering about Kane Archer. Maybe you could kind of hone in on those three guys and maybe some updates you've gotten from their camp.
Yeah, Murphy, he's a guy that's about 6'1", 205. He'll be an athlete at Arkansas. Obviously, with that size, he can play multiple positions. He wants to start off at receiver, so I think that's where he'll probably start off at. Then with Kane Archer, he'll be on campus tomorrow for camp, and he's got several other camps he's attending, but that give him an opportunity to continue to continue that bond with Coach Petrino, and obviously learn from Coach Petrino. I think that's the big thing when kids go on campus for camps, especially quarterbacks. Does that coach's philosophy on how to teach fundamentals and offense and things of that nature that kind of jive with your philosophy? Do you feel comfortable with it? and who was Grayson Wilson. He'll be making his official visit to Arkansas, not this weekend, but the following weekend. They had a team camp yesterday. Conway did, along with Bryant, North Little Rock, Parkview, and several other schools. And from what I gather, he's really starting to feel more comfortable with the offense at Conway, and starting to get a lot more confidence as far as just he and the receivers. So just that one throw yesterday that I tweeted out about him, it was an impressive throw, because he just threw it just beyond the reach of linebacker. I kept looking at that, and I was thinking, man, that's a big time throw.
It's a college level throw.
Yeah, it really is, and I just think that a lot of people don't understand how good of a quarterback that Grayson Wilson is. I think finally after winning earning MVP honors at 3 different camps, combines, and then two of the recruiting services rating him as a 4-star, and one of them having him as the number 6 dual threat quarterback in the country, which is Rivals. I think people are starting to see that this guy, not only is he a great quarterback, he's a great athlete. I mean, very, very good in basketball, also in baseball. And he is a true dual threat guy. I'm guessing maybe a 4.6 guy, something like that in the 40. I don't know, but he's definitely fast enough. And I can tell you one thing: Arkansas's thrilled to have him. They're not looking at any other quarterbacks. They got their guy, and they're very, very happy with Grayson Wilson.
And that's what Matt Jones, our co-host, always talks about, and our team member, is that getting those 3 sport guys, and good pitcher, good basketball player, and like you said, a good quarterback as well. Richard, we'll close with this. You mentioned team camps for football. I think Cal's got his first father-son camp. I think that's tomorrow and Friday, if I remember those dates correct. Are we still under the same impression, same consensus that he's done with this roster, or could some player out of the blue, out of the woodwork, change his thinking as we let you go?
I think they're basically done with high-level guys. I do know that they're reaching out to some other kids and considering them for the remaining spots. But and no disrespect to those kids, but they're not going to be some of the guys that they already have on campus. But there'll be guys that obviously will play important roles and help with practice and fill out the roster. But and who knows, there may be a guy that they get that that surprises them and sees some time. So who knows? But I tend to think that they're done with the high level guys. Could there be a late addition with a high level guy? Sure. You never ever count out anything with college athletics and recruiting. But I tend to think I think we're probably about 90 to 95% certain that most likely that they're done with the high-level guys.
Richard, we'll leave it there. Thanks for the insight. Excited to see how this recruiting thing shakes out in these next few months with Arkansas football games, and we'll continue to chat about it starting next week.
Sounds good. All right, man. We'll see you guys.
All right, Richard Davenport and all of our guests join us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Find your best deal at McLartyDaniel.com. Hey, we're brought to you by the Hickey & Hole Law Partners. They're growing their firm. They've opened up offices over the last couple of years in Mena and Little Rock. So whether you're in Benton or Bentonville, they've got an office nearby to help you. They've already seen hundreds of clients in these new areas, as well as where they've been at home base in Fort Smith and Northwest Arkansas for a while. So if you're in need of a great attorney to aggressively represent you that has the experience with over 7 decades of combined experience on staff for Brad and Kevin and their law firm, then this is the number you need to call, 479-434-2414. Family law is their specialty, but there's no area that they can't help you with, whether it's a civil matter, criminal matter, or beyond. They are there for you. 479-434-2414. Schedule your consultation with the Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Hey, things are about to get better. Go to KevinHickeyLaw.com.
All right, Big C. Doesn't sound like Kristaps Porzingis is in the best of shape heading into tonight's Game 3 in Dallas, Texas, 7:30 on ABC. This might be the opening you guys need as a Mavs fan.
Yeah, I mean, not having to worry about his scoring ability would be a huge weight off the defense for the Mavericks. Celtics have plenty of guys who can score the basketball, but Porzingis is such a matchup nightmare for the Mavericks, and he only had 12 points last game, but didn't play a lot of minutes. So yeah, I think that can help the Mavs, and they need to really take advantage of this because they have no more room for error.
I think they're a 2.5-point favorite. I think you checked that yesterday, Tom, in the Bet Saracen app. I'm pulling that up as we speak.
Maybe a point and a half.
Maybe
yesterday.
a point and a half.
Moved,
yeah, I think it's double check this real quick. Yeah, it's moved. It is 2.5. I looked at it this morning, but yeah, Dallas is a 2.5-point favorite heading into tonight's game. And Daniel's been really good, hoping he can continue. I'm trying to get his old high school basketball coach from El Dorado that's currently at Grimsley Junior High up in Bentonville. So hopefully we'll get a chance to chat with him this week because I know from where he was, where got him out of band basically in high school to where he is now is pretty remarkable. But to me, it's about Kyrie Irving tonight. Kyrie has had a great playoffs thus far. He's had a terrible 2 games of the finals. He's out of Boston. He's back home in American Airlines Center. I think the crowd will rejuvenate him a little bit, and I think Dallas ultimately takes Game 3 tonight. If Porzingis can't play from here on out, that definitely affects. They still have a lot of depth. Boston has that advantage over Dallas, but it definitely changes the matchups moving forward. And I think you got to give the edge to Dallas the next 2 games, even if he's in there, if he's not fully healthy, that definitely changes things for the Celtics.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are having fun watching this to keep the audience engaged, to keep the casual fan that doesn't have a real rooting interest engaged. Dallas really needs to win this thing tonight, and I think that'll put more butts in seats for Game 4. If this goes 3-0, I think people probably lose complete interest of this thing.
And maybe there's a loss of interest on the U.S. women's basketball team. Did you see the response by the committee basically on why they didn't include Caitlin Clark?
I haven't read it. I've listened to the reaction from the national heads and here on our radio station.
This is Jim Tooley to the Associated Press. It's a great mix of talents across the boards in terms of individual skill sets. We have veterans, newcomers, and those who are in the middle. Good perspective, and the continuity is such an important thing, which is why we've been successful in the Olympics. What it boils down to is that Clark hasn't been able to participate in Team USA's program. Well, it's kind of hard for her to do when, she's in the Final Four and she doesn't want to, give up a chance to play and win a national championship. They played for a national championship 2 years ago. They were in the Final Four. So if you want to use that excuse and logic, you can, but that's basically what they're shielding behind that idea. And still say now,
like you completely switched
no, I was gonna say, to be clear, just presenting this. To be clear, I'm still okay with this because again, I think that a lot of times you get what you earn in life based on merit. And Clark hasn't earned that yet as a rookie in the WNBA. But I'm coming from the vantage point and perspective that a lot of people are still angry about this, and they weren't exactly enthused with this response of why she was being kept off the team.
If this was on the men's side and you didn't need the promotion of sport and the elevation of men's athletics the way you do women's athletics, I'd have a different opinion. But as the father of 2 daughters and knowing that, hey, you want the best opportunities for your kids, women's athletics do need more support and more opportunity and visibility. And it has gotten better.
Yes.
And Caitlin Clark has made it better. But her inclusion with the U.S. team and being a part of the Olympics could do nothing but further that. Even if she only plays a handful of minutes, doesn't matter.
Yeah, so like the example, I'm trying to think of one that would maybe match up right. Like Steph Curry, I've compared her to Steph Curry plenty of times because she plays exactly like Steph Curry. Great shooter, shoots it from anywhere. She's not Michael Jordan. If you're going to compare her to someone, it's Steph Curry. I don't think, in that initial, and I have to go back and look, that initial Olympic team, maybe it did include LeBron James, but I think a lot of people, if that was in this situation where you had a marquee player, but like you said, men's basketball doesn't need the help at all. Women's basketball does. So I get the perspective and vantage point of a lot of people that are frustrated with her not being included. But
I don't understand how the women involved in women's sports aren't outraged at this. And that speaks, that their silence is deafening. It speaks volumes to maybe how they perceive or feel about Caitlin Clark. And there's other clues as we've watched the game she's played in. I don't understand that. Don't know enough of what's happened behind closed doors, but You can perceive certain things, and they may be right or wrong, whether it's jealousy or some other kind of hang up with her. But if I'm a player in the WNBA making, a micro fraction of what was this deal yesterday? They signed $76 billion. The NBA signed in new TV rights deals with the 3 networks, one of them being Amazon, ESPN, and NBC. $76 billion. If you want a deal that's even a fraction of that for your next TV deal with the WNBA, you should be the biggest Caitlin Clark fan you can be if you're a player in that deal. Because she's going to be able to help you multiply that value.
From what I was reading, they've always done the TV deals combined, but I think there's a thought in the future if they can grow this enough, they'll separate them and sell them separately. I don't think I'm like you. I agree. You can increase your value by including her as much as humanly possible, which I say I have a good idea. I don't think I've ever agreed with Bomani Jones on anything, but I think he did present something that's an awesome idea. Put her on set. Put her on the NBC set. Have her, if you're not going to include her on the team, bring her over to Paris, France. Put her on the NBC set. Let her talk about halftime, breaks, whatever. Include her some way, somehow. I think that's a good idea. It's not the best idea compared to what you maybe could have had, but at least it's something.
I guess she would have enough media savvy. I don't know. That may be a great idea. May not. That may not be her cup of tea. I don't know. We've seen snippets of interviews. There's a difference in doing a 2 or 3 minute stand up with a reporter and broadcasting a 2-hour ball game or being a studio analyst.
So what is worse for America? Caitlin Clark not being on the Olympic team or Joey Chestnut not participating in the Nathan's Hot Dog Contest? Your calls and texts,
travesties, right?
Your calls and texts welcome on the McLarty Daniel Hotline at 877-377-6963. And I will say this, it is funny that when we get these calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel Hotline when people say, and most of it's guys that say, well, women are just jealous. Tell me men don't get jealous?
Well, sure they do.
Are you kidding me? Like, we get jealous of our wives, fiancés, girlfriends, even talking, even looking at another guy. This idea that this is just a woman phenomenon, that they just get jealous because of someone getting spotlight
You got to be able to control your emotions.
Yes.
Do you think everyone loved Tiger Woods early on in the PGA Tour?
No.
But you think everybody loved Nick Saban early on in the SEC?
Mm-mm.
But what happened? Everybody got rich because of their appearance and their presence and the spotlight they brought. Nick Saban was hired for $4 million at Alabama years ago. Now no one's making less than $4 million as a head coach. So you think he had a big part to do with that? Of course.
Yeah. You talk about it all the time.
She could be the catalyst in a similar fashion on that scale, if allowed. Hey, do you want to spruce up your home, whether it's your existing home or build from ground up? Either way, check with our friends at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas before you get started. Find out why they have been around for more than 100 years, and they can help you and your family, just like they've helped many others, with their dream home and make that dream come true. Visit myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com, or stop in any of their 25 locations today.
All right, hour number 2 coming up. We'll come back to Arkansas's schedule next.
At Our Best Bank, we believe in the power of community. That's why we recognize, serve, and support communities of all kinds. From small towns to big cities, business startups to large companies, young families to seniors, and those with shared backgrounds and interests. We value your contributions and are proud to work alongside you because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Our Best Bank. We believe.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This season, you pick the deals during New Holland's Ready to Roll sales event at WT Equipment. Get a new compact and save $2,300 cash back. Plus, choose 0 for 72 or add a free loader. You pick. Get 0% on select round balers and free net wrap. Or choose to pocket over $10,000 in cash back. NCBA member? Stack $2,500 off these already beefy offers. With work getting longer and budgets tighter, one choice is easy. Choose WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
That's the $1 million question.
This is the Morning Rush.
The name Neumeier means something in the River Valley. Rib Room and Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. But have you been to their new establishment, the Whippoorwill? Unbelievable Southern food right across the street from Papa's. Southern cooking at its finest, like burgers, chicken fried steak, Mimi's meatloaf, fried green tomatoes, and more. Go to whippoorwillrestaurant.com to check out their menu and daily specials. Neumeier's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Neumeier family.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. You have the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rodgers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon, mid to upper 80s. We end up with a clear sky tonight, low 60s. Blue skies, sunshine, low 90s on Thursday. And then Friday, we should see plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures on Friday, just over 90. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 78 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is driven by Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and online at rathauto.com. You're rolling with Rath on the Morning Rush.
All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
The once future champion of the world, the king who has risen to the throne and who will not step down. Look on his works, ye mighty and despair, for he has surpassed the kings of Egypt with 76 Nathan's hot dogs and fun. A new world record. The number one ranked eater in the world.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Kristen Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
So I don't know who I should be mad at with this Joey Chestnut situation. Maybe you're just jumping in with us this morning as we welcome you in here on What's Your Beef Wednesday. Apparently Joey Chestnut is not going to be participating in the hot dog eating contest coming up on July the 4th unless something is done. Now, he has a deal right now. I didn't know this until it came out yesterday with Impossible Beyond Meat, which is a competitor of Nathan's. I didn't even think they were competitors, honestly. Some people like to eat real hot dogs.
Not,
yeah, one's not. I don't think of them as competitors at all. But apparently, they look at each other as that. So that is a beef of mine, the possibility of him not being able to participate in that contest. We will talk about that coming up here in our What's Your Beef Wednesday in about 15 or so minutes. Got an Aaron Rodgers beef and got a scheduling beef, another beef or two. But on the subject of the schedule, we have a better idea of when Arkansas is going to be playing football this fall. Not where, we knew that already, but what times or what pocket of times. We'll got to share that with you as that was released yesterday. Not just Arkansas, but the other SEC opponents too.
Maybe one of your beefs is you go to the gym to work out wherever your place of cardiac exercise is done. Probably not the best way to put it, but you have to wait on equipment. Maybe it's not clean. Maybe it's not roomy and spacious. Maybe you're looking for an upgrade. Well, let me tell you about the Hangout in Fort Smith. It's Fort Smith's largest and best workout facility, 8,000 square feet of indoor gym that's got everything you need. Treadmills, stair mills, step masters. It's got recumbent bikes. It's got regular stationary bikes. It's got every kind of free weight and circuit training that you might want. They've got classes to help you as well. So if you want to enhance your fitness experience, they can do that at the Hangout. Plus, there's indoor and outdoor tennis and pickleball available. Basketball is there soon, and more is on the way all the time. Check it out online, thehangoutfs.com. Find out about family and individual memberships there. That's thehangoutfs.com, or go to their location, 5400 Gary Street, just off Hartscrabble Way, and find out more. Be a part of something different, something better that you needed and Fort Smith has needed. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
She got 4 marquee home games this fall with SEC opponents: Texas, Tennessee, Ole Miss, and LSU. The Tigers coming in here at 9. My LSU buddy's texting me right around. He is mulling over the idea of driving up from Baton Rouge to come to this game. He's never been to a game in Fayetteville. He thinks the night aspect would be cool. Arkansas played the Tigers last year at night, lost tight. Man, that was a good game. Luke Haas was fantastic. Jaden Daniels was better, the Heisman Trophy winner. They lose a lot, so maybe you can sneak up on them, and they get Ole Miss the week before. That game's at 9. The most marquee game on the schedule for you, probably as a listener, It's when the Texas game is, which is November the 16th. It's 11 a.m. on either ABC or ESPN. Tommy, you looked at the schedule. That's what, the second or third most marquee game of the day?
Well,
you had to pinpoint
from an
it?
SEC standpoint, I don't know, LSU at Florida could be. Tennessee at Georgia. Those are both flex games for the afternoon, evening. But, yeah, I mean, Arkansas at Texas, I think, is at worst the third best game. Alabama plays Mercer. Missouri's at South Carolina. Non-conference game for A&M as they get New Mexico State. Murray State's at Kentucky. Auburn's got UL Monroe. So, yeah, I mean, it's clearly no worse than third. And we just have to see how the season plays out if LSU at Florida and Tennessee at Georgia are more meaningful games. But Texas at Arkansas, I mean, we got to get over this idea that the early game is a punishment. You know, Fox has turned it into a spotlight. And now
a competition of sorts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Arkansas, Texas gets what I would call the early window spotlight that day on ABC. And I think it's probably likely on ABC if both teams are competitive and have decent records.
Now, it should be noted that when you hear the term flex, that is the time anywhere from 2:30 to 7 o'clock Central. Mm-hmm. Those game times are going to be announced 6 days prior. So it's the true meaning of flex. Like, it's legitimately, you're not going to know the specific game time till that Sunday before that upcoming week. The afternoon and night game windows. The afternoon is anywhere from 2:30 to 3:30. The night is anywhere from 5 to 7. Those are going to be assigned 12 days prior. You know all your early games already, which is night. Arkansas has a few early games. Oklahoma State on ABC in Stillwater. You play Ole Miss at home, November the 2nd, early. Don't know the network just yet. Mississippi State on the road, that's early. You take any of the road games. And then, like I mentioned, Texas being an early game. So you know some of your games, exactly where they're going to be, the early ones. And then you know some of the games that are just where they're going to be probably within that 2 or 4.5 hour window, basically.
All right, so from a fan perspective, you know, you travel to Auburn September the 21st. That's a flex game, meaning it could be anywhere from 2:30 to 7 o'clock that day. But at least you know, hey, I want to stay somewhere in Georgia, because that, you know, Auburn down there in the corner.
Yep.
You could do that if you flew into Atlanta and stayed somewhere kind of halfway, or you drove and you want to stay in Birmingham. You can kind of plan how you want to do it. Do I want to play golf before I get to the game? I mean, you can have a general idea of where you want to get your Airbnb or use your hotel points. You know, Arkansas goes to Mississippi State. You know, that's an 11 to noon game. It's in that early flex. So it's going to kick off somewhere in the 11 a.m. hour. Well, you know, probably, unless I want to get up really early, Memphis may be a little further away than I want to stay. But if you knew it's a night game, hey, let's stay at Tunica. You know, so you can at least start making some plans on, you know, figuring out, hey, what do me and my group want to do? What do me and my family want to do? From a fan perspective, that's good. From a team perspective, this gives the recruiting staff a chance to really start planning out, you know, who they want to try to really get on campus what weeks. Coaches and operational people love to have every detail of their plans done. So, you know, it may not be fine-tuned to the minute of kickoff this early, but at least you got an idea of when the plane might need to leave to get there.
For someone that is, and you worked with me for nearly 6 years now, Christian, you've worked in a year and a half. Is it fair to say I'm detail-oriented? I try and be precise. So on that note, this to me is gold. Like, I love the fact that we have even a better idea many months out that exactly when some game times are going to be and others. Like, I was looking at the Texas A&M weekend, for example. You were talking about the idea of maybe staying in Memphis if you're going to Starkville or Ole Miss or something like that. The Texas A&M game falls on my little sister's wedding weekend. So I was looking at flights as soon as this came out yesterday. I'm going to get a chance to fly back into Dallas from Santa Barbara before the game starts. So there's certain things, again, you plan out what your weekend's going to look like, not only if you're just going to be here across the state of Arkansas watching it, or if you're going to be in a situation where you'd like to go to it like Auburn and flying into Atlanta or something like that.
Yeah. So I don't know what effect it's going to have on the betting lines, but you can get the Oaklawn Sports app and check it out. If you haven't downloaded it, do that before tonight's NBA Finals, Game 3. And when you download it and make your first bet, put that money in your account and make a bet of at least $10 up to $250. If that first bet doesn't work out for you, they'll give you a second chance bonus bet equal value up to $250. Just create your account, make your deposit, and make a bet of at least $10. That's how it works. It's that simple. Debit and credit cards, PayPal, ACH, Venmo, and on-site cash all work with the Oaklawn Sports app, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust, Oaklawn Sports.
Morning Rush, daily question next.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Football, I kind of like that.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
Tell everybody, Woo Pig Suey.
This is the Morning Rush.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And when the game's over, head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video
got all the way to work. I'd left my phone at home. What is worse, leaving your phone behind at the house or your wallet? Which could you?
Phone. Yeah, the phone.
Yeah, I can survive for at least till but there was no way I could come in here and do a 3-hour radio show without my phone at my sides. I had to turn around, haul it back to the house, get it, and come back. But yeah, what would be worse? Leaving your wallet at the house? Because I had my wallet, because I had to buy gas too. Those other things slowed me down. Always a bad decision to never, to prolong or procrastinate on getting gas. I'll get it in the morning. Never a good idea. But I left my phone at home. That, kind of put my morning, kind of disheveled my morning.
Disheveled. Yeah, I don't think it's close. Phone, from a standpoint of what we do, looking up various things during the course of the show, adding things on social media, getting text on the McLarty Daniel hotline, not just through our hotline, but directly. It's phone for me. I can't even function on the toilet without my phone. Being honest.
The plumbing won't work?
It feels weird.
Yeah.
Not being in the restroom without my phone. And maybe that's more of an indictment of me as an individual, which, if you want to say that, I'm perfectly okay with. But Big C, for me, it's phone 1,000%. Wallet, there are various times I just don't have it, so I don't need it. I'm scared I'll lose it. Phone easily. 10 times out of 10.
Definitely phone. Definitely phone for me. I just feel like if I need to text somebody, like something important, usually it's important in my mind if I have to text somebody.
Clay brings up a good point. He's up early listening. If you see blue lights behind you, you need your wallet. It's probably a good point. They can look it up, I guess, but it helps if you have that with you. But I've left my wallet at home, and then I'll get that after the show. But phone, it was not. I didn't. Ty, if I got to be late, I need to text Ty. Well, I can't text Ty. No, on my phone.
At the house.
Couldn't function.
Is it?
We become slaves to these things.
Maybe a police officer. I know we do have police officers that listen to this program, not just in the state, but out of state. If you don't have your wallet, is a picture of your driver's license sufficient? I mean, you said they can look
helpful.
it up. I know that, proof of insurance and driver's license, or
look that up,
license and registration, I guess, is what you need. But I have all three of those on me, or in the car, I should say, 24/7. But on the off chance that I don't bring my wallet, at least you have that option.
Besides the phone, what's the one thing you could not leave without, or would have to turn around and go get, as I did this morning? Is there anything else that's that
my planner
of a necessity? All right, so if you'd left your planner?
Yeah, I'm just anal about that.
And as young as you are, I keep my planner on my phone, and you have a written document here, a spiral-bound book.
It is one of the old personalities. Joy in my life is keeping a planner. I have my new one that's already been written down. This one goes through the end of June. The July one has already been purchased. It's sitting on top of the mini fridge in my television room. It's already got several dates, several occasions, several various things on it.
How many
it's one
weddings
of the
already
small joys. I only have 2 left. Ruskin's this week, and my little sister. No,
I mean for
3.
Planning into the end of the year and into next year. I'm sure.
There's 5 already on.
Weddings?
There's 5 already on the calendar next year. Is what I was counting.
How many friends do you have left that haven't been married?
Probably half.
Besides you.
Probably half.
Okay, so half
of your friends.
Wow.
Yeah, they're either engaged or they're got a longtime girlfriend, or they're single as a Pringle, like yours truly.
There's not that many.
I have
29.
I have a decent between Little Rock High School friends, Fayetteville friends, River Valley friends. That, it makes up for a decent amount.
You have to go to all. You have to go to every one.
I haven't gone to all of them. That's the thing. I've had to decline like 25% of them because of various other things going on.
I declined like 90% of them.
I don't know. They're fun.
I want to be invited. I just don't always want to go.
Yeah, that's the everyone has that. I'm glad you brought that up. Everyone has that friend that gets mad when you don't invite them to a certain event or a certain occasion or a certain whatever, and then when you actually do, they somehow can't go or they don't want to go, but they just want to be invited.
I want to be invited.
Like you said.
I don't want my feelings hurt because I didn't get invited, but going's a whole different thing. So.
Yeah.
All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. Would you rather leave your phone or your wallet behind at the house? It's brought to you by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
What's wrong with you? I want to complain. I'm complaining. I want to complain about complaining. I want to complain. It really pisses me off today.
To simply listen to people whine and complain.
I'm angry. I'm spitting angry. I'm like a tornado of anger, swirling about. My heart rate is dangerously high right now.
I'm complaining because not enough people tickle, hug, or smile.
I'm so mad I could eat ball bearings and crap me.
It's time for What's Your Beef Wednesday.
Daniel texting me, he says he lives in Russellville and he works in Fort Smith, and he got to work one day and realized his computer was at home. That was a terrible day. Dayton Hot Springs says he was once 40 minutes from his house and had to call his wife from the truck to get her to meet because he forgot his phone one morning. So I listened to our.
See, if I called from an oddball phone, my wife wouldn't answer.
Oh, really?
I'd have to repeat, call 15 times to get her to answer.
Chaz at Fayetteville saying I have the phone case where my phone and wallet are all in one, so it's that like combined. I've seen those. I'm not a fan of those. Do you? I've always liked to my keys and my wallet are in my left pocket. My phone's in my right pocket. I don't.
You just need one of them old school belt clip deals where you just clip the phone in on the side.
But that scares
That's
me.
what you need. That would really probably attract the women right in. How cool you would look with one of those right there on your hip.
That scares me that I would lose it. That's why.
Wouldn't he look awesome, Big C?
Oh yeah, it would fit
set him apart.
I've got these dad.
It would set him apart.
I've got these dad croquis. Now the only thing I need to do for my sunglasses, you know how the sunglasses that split. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I have
generally reading glasses.
Yeah, reading glasses, but I have like the croquis sunglasses, basically the sunglass strings,
Right.
and I look very much like a dad when I put them down.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to separate them.
You think you look like a dad?
With that aspect of my attire, yes,
Yeah.
I think I do. All right, it is a What's Your Beef Wednesday edition of the Morning Rush. If you have a beef this morning, feel free to join us. Here's one of my beefs. It's Aaron Rodgers, and I was an Aaron Rodgers fan when he was initially drafted by the Green Bay Packers. But the more of his antics that go on, the more I get frustrated by him. His head coach, Robert Saleh of the New York Jets, had this to say in his absence this week.
The second one is Aaron. Aaron and I spoke before OTA started. He's been very good in communication. He's been here the entire time. It's inexcused, but he had an event that was very important to him, which he communicated.
OTA's minicamp starting for the National Football League this week. As you heard, the New York Jets head coach discussing it's an unexcused absence. He's going to be fined $16,000 plus a day for this 2-day minicamp that he misses. Now, apparently, Tommy, he is at an event that's important to him. I don't know if that's, going off to the wilderness and just being by himself.
Who knows with him?
You never know. Maybe he's preparing for another Jeopardy run. Maybe he's preparing to be the vice president somewhere. I don't know, but I don't care. And it's frustrating because, again, I liked him so much when he was a young quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. I felt like he had a chip on his shoulder because of where he was drafted with Cal. I'd read stuff about him. He's an incredibly intelligent individual, but is so annoying, some of his antics sometimes. I love what he says on Pat McAfee sometimes. I hate what he says on Pat McAfee sometimes. But this is just like, especially coming on the quote-unquote Achilles tear, rupture, whatever, even though some people speculate it wasn't fully. You got to be invested with your team right now. You're not getting any younger. You've got a lot of pieces around you that have a chance to make it far in the AFC, and yet he doesn't seem to be fully invested.
And it's a what? It's a OTA, right?
Minicamp, yeah.
Yeah, minicamp. Hey, Chris Canty was on early this morning on Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. He was telling a story that Bill Parcells was having a meeting with his coaches when he's with the Giants. And one of the assistant coaches came in and says, LT was late. He was 8 minutes late for the meeting today. And he jumped all over the coach. He says, what are you doing starting the meeting without Lawrence Taylor in the room? I think Aaron Rodgers is kind of in that category. What are you doing worrying about a lot of this stuff until the most important player on your team and one of the best, I'm not saying he's not the best at his position in the league, but he's amongst them. So, I mean, I don't want to say he's got you where he wants you, but, there's a reason they pay these guys what they pay them because they have such rare talent. Aaron Rodgers knows that, and he's been doing this so long. Does he really need the practice? Does he really need a mini camp? He doesn't. Maybe his teammates need one with him, but Aaron Rodgers doesn't need the practice. The problem is he's not being a good teammate, and that's my issue with it.
Do as I say, not as I do. We've all heard that phrase over the years. Like, I remember this is a little graphic, but it's true. Isaiah Thomas was talking about his older brothers that used to do drugs, and they would tell him, it's like, do as we say, not as we do. Now, Isaiah became one of the best point guards in NBA history, and he's better off for listening to his brother's advice, but not following their example. In the case of Aaron Rodgers, he and only one other player, Hassan something, was absent from this. It's a young core for New York right now. You've got Sauce Gardner and like Quentin Williams, all these young guys that have recently been drafted. They need their leader. There are situations that you are right, that the veteran and the status that Aaron Rodgers has, to me, exempts him from certain things. But this is not a history in an organization that is used to winning, that has a great culture. Green Bay did. San Francisco does. Other franchises do. This one doesn't. So you have to give a little more. Even though in this stage of your career you shouldn't have to, this is a different situation than where he was in Lambeau Field, in my opinion at least.
Yeah. I just don't think he's being a good teammate. There's nothing that he is going to gain that will make him a better player out of a mini camp. You agree with that? There's nothing that Aaron Rodgers is going to discover or hone in at this point. But you're part of a team. And if the team's having a mini camp, you need to be there.
Yeah.
You think Tom Brady would do this? Now, he did, in fairness, he did miss, because he's trying to keep his family together, miss some of camp there with Tampa at the end. But, that wasn't the norm for him.
But Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if he's still dating. I don't think he's dating Danica Patrick, but
no, that's been over for years.
He doesn't have a family that I don't know about. But
Tom Brady probably had a more admirable excuse, I would say, a more reasonable excuse in what we found out in hindsight. I'm just saying, if you're going to be the leader and the voice in your locker room, you got to be there and be present to be the leader. I just don't think if you're Aaron Rodgers, after all his years and all his wins and all his experience, a mini camp is going to be what puts you over the top.
So that is one of the beefs. The other beef I've shared this morning is if Joey Chestnut is not allowed to participate in this upcoming Nathan's hot dog eating contest. For those that don't know, he has recently signed a deal with the Impossible Beyond Meat brands. To sum it up, vegans ruin everything. And in this case, Nathan's, I guess, is jealous and mad that he signed with a rival and competitive brand. And it sounds like they're pushing and urging him and basically restricting him from the contest unless he disavows and goes away with that. Yeah,
I disavow.
That's my, based on what I've read.
Do you think America's really upset about this?
I mean, this is a champion time and time again. I saw a lot of commentary on this yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm upset, and that's why it's my beef.
Do you make an appointment every July 4th to watch the Nathan's hot dog eating contest?
Mm-hmm. And I didn't know this until you informed me that Jimmy Dykes, apparently that was one of his early assignments with ESPN.
Been years, but yes.
I'm going to text him after the program and ask him about that. I don't know if Joey was is part of that coverage.
Jimmy, there's time to block his number.
Yeah, between now and then.
That's a warning.
Those are two beefs I have, and that the Texas game's at 11 a.m.
Well, here's a sports beef and then a personal beef. Which one you want first?
Fire them both off. Doesn't
All
really
right,
matter.
personal beef. If you are the person that is at the front of the stoplight line, if you're the car that's sitting there, that's got to lead the way at the next green light, you have a responsibility to all those behind you to pay attention and not be looking at your phone. What do you do when you pull up to a traffic light?
Look at my phone.
Same thing I do. Look at my phone. But if you are number one in line, you have a responsibility to that 10th car in the back that's going to now miss the light because you were 20 seconds late because everybody had to honk their horn at you. Happened to me twice yesterday where somebody was up front, not paying attention. Light's green. Nobody's going. Guess what? I get up there, light turns red before I can get through the light because you made me late. So you have a responsibility.
How long do you wait till you honk?
Not long. It's getting that window's shortening up, particularly when you can look ahead and maybe see that their head's looking down.
For all of your strengths, patience is not one of them.
Patience is overrated.
And I have been in the car with you on several trips that we've gone to do shows across this state, and you get antsier like one of my best friends from college. That it cracks me up how.
Get out of that left lane. Don't be doing 55 in the left lane.
How comparable you guys are on the road. Yep. Okay, so that's your non-sports beef.
I'm in a hurry. I got to get. Hey, I'm in the car. I'm stuck in the car with you. I got to get where I'm going so I can get out.
I'm usually asleep on these car rides.
Then how would you know what's going on?
Because you wake me up a lot of times in a peaceful slumber, and you wake me up with yelling and screaming and berating the car in front of you. Which
I would out of the left lane.
I would think a market manager would hold some restraint in these situations.
Patience is overrated.
Patience is overrated.
It's overrated.
That's your non-sports beef, and I wholeheartedly agree. It is
your responsibility.
Your responsibility of that.
You're going to be
car.
number one in line. Hey, cars 2 through 100. Look at your phone. You'll figure it out. You're number one in line. You can't hold up the show.
Okay.
Sports beef number 2. I mean, just the Caitlin Clark situation. I just the double talk out of the side that feels like it's okay. The only real retort I've heard that has any merit is, well, she shouldn't be on the team if she's only going to play a handful of minutes because she's not one of the 12 best players. Okay. I don't understand.
How many times would they pan over the sidelines?
Well, okay, but that's not. Is that Caitlin Clark's fault?
No. But I'm agreeing with you. But still, she would still be like a lot of the center of attention.
She's still going to be the center of attention by not being there. I don't understand the double talk that, hey, she's a really good player. She's going to be a great player, but she hasn't earned it. And a 41-year-old Diana Taurasi, who is she one of the best 3 or 4 guards in the country to put on there? I don't know enough about it, and that's the problem. None of us have paid a great deal of attention to the WNBA and players like Asia Wilson and all these other names that we're discovering this week. The whole crawl across the bottom on Sunday as we're watching baseball, or Saturday, is Caitlin Clark left off team. Did it list the 12 players that were put on the team? No. I just can't believe the missed opportunity. Don Staley and the rest of this committee is letting slip by not just this team. They're going to win gold with or without her. And I think you could make that case for anyone that's on that team. Is there a player on that roster that, hey, we can't win gold without this one player? I don't think so.
It would be ironic if they did win gold, like you said yesterday, and the uproar, the pushback.
But they didn't win?
Yeah, they didn't win.
Well,
that's because you didn't have Caitlin on the team.
Never rooting for the Americans to not win in any event. But if that should occur, boy, the pushback is going to be pretty severe from a pretty good section of the fan base. I just think for women's sports, who always have an outcry, and rightfully so, for more attention, more funding, more money. We saw it with soccer. We saw it in the Olympics during COVID, and we saw it with the NCAA in March Madness, comparing the differences in weight rooms and facilities at their tournaments. If you want to raise the level of awareness, if you want to raise viewership, if you want to increase your fan base, don't miss this opportunity. I don't really care if she plays or not. It doesn't become more or less appointment TV for me. I can just tell you, as a father of 2 daughters, if you want to have more opportunities for your kids down the road, I'm not saying this is the keyhole that's going to open up Pandora's box for all female sports, but it's going to improve the situation.
Well,
and if every player in the WNBA wants to make more money over the next, say, 3 to 5 years, she's a big part of that. You better accept it.
Yeah. So I remember the first time that Americans included professionals was, I guess, the 92 Dream Team, right? In my accurate on that. Yep. So there was no, like, Michael was on the 84 Olympic roster because he was technically still a North Carolina Tar Heel, or in the midst hadn't been drafted, wherever the timeline was on that. but there would have been an outcry and an uproar that rookie Michael Jordan say he was coming off of starting his fantastic NBA career if he would have been left off. Now, again, it's hard to compare the greatest basketball player to ever exist versus maybe
Clark's
the most
not
popular. Yeah, she's not, but she's the most popular female basketball player to ever exist, and
that's earned her something.
Yes, and I think it's.
Is that enough to put you on an Olympic roster?
You're trying to justify talent and merit with this exposure and social media aspect and the viewing, all that. And that's hard to do. And again, forgetting the name of the Olympic person that basically said that she hasn't been a part of a team. There are other players, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, she's competing for a Final Four at a national championship.
Right.
Like, she's not going to dip
not
out.
Like she was in Cabo. Mm-hmm. Does she help the greater good? And I don't know about inside that locker room. There's a perception that there's resistance from other players, and there's.
Oh, it's not a perception. You see it every night.
But we're not in those locker rooms. We don't know. But there is at least, I think, a reasonable opinion you can draw based on the body language and what we see on the floor, and the lack of teammates coming to help her up, and that they're wanting to give her come up in the WNBA, and I think this is part of it. But I think in the end, they're cutting their nose off to spite their face because of jealousies or pettiness or whatever it really is underneath the surface that no one wants to be honest enough and courageous enough to talk about publicly. Because in the end, not putting her on the U.S. team is just costing everyone in women's basketball, professional women's basketball, money long term.
So we're talking about ratings within the potential upcoming Olympics with the women's national team and how they're going to drop severely with Caitlin Clark not being on the team. Maybe she's on the broadcast, maybe she's not. Who don't know. When you're looking at ratings, a lot of times they justify whether or not you should spend money at a particular business. And if someone's a 4.9 out of 5, that means, man, they've got a lot of, especially if there's 800 plus reviews. Well, that's what you're going to find at Rath Auto Resources. Larry Rath and his team have been doing it for quite some time within not just the River Valley, but also Rath Mitsubishi coming up on their 7 years in Springdale as well. And again, not just the 4.9 ratings. How about the social media giveaways they do all the time? They've been doing the Tri-State giveaways. There are various other restaurant giveaways that they do consistently on their social media. So when you're in the market for a new vehicle, check out Rath Auto Resources. Check out their social media. You can see their specials. This month, they're giving up to 27% more for their trade. At Rath Auto Resources, tell Larry where you're rolling to next with Rath Auto Resources. All right, we got our Hog Update coming up. We'll give you more updates about the upcoming schedule, who you're playing, what time. We know about what day and where, but kind of just the ballpark or where you're going to be playing these teams. Gabe Gackle, Colin Fisher announced his freshman All-Americans. I know they're excited about that. Gabe had himself a heck of a season. Colin did prior to injury, and some other tidbits and news in your Hogged Update. That's all coming up next.
Plus, Clay Henry at 8 a.m., he won't have to wait all day to boo Texas in November. He knows the game time now. He can start his booing earlier in the day. Hey, one thing to tell you about before we step aside, and that's Gaston's White River Resort. Fun for the whole family. Fishing for everyone that loves to get a rod and reel in their hand. There's a pool for everyone that wants to cool off and relax by the pool when you're not on the river. And that's one thing Clint and his staff have really made an effort, is whether it's having a place to work out, having family fun, doing things off of the river. They've got they've got 60 years of experience of making family memories that last. They got a great restaurant for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Most of their cabins have full kitchens in them as well. So there's something for everyone, and everyone will love a trip to Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
And I'm sure glad that y'all are still able to go to your jobs and help and give us something to do besides talk about the bad stuff.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Celebrate freedom and a new RV from Camping World in Van Buren, Arkansas. For a limited time, get into a new RV starting at just $104 per month and see America for less. As part of America's #1 RV network, we've got an RV for every lifestyle and a payment for every budget. Buy with confidence at Camping World, knowing every RV comes with a 3-year Good Sam Elite membership and access to our nationwide service network. Make sure your next summer adventure is the best one yet. Click, call, or visit Camping World in Van Buren today. Certain restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Tommy Craft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
I'm ready to roll right now, Ty. Have a great day.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and we need your trade. This month, the trade-in acquisition event continues with up to 27% bonus cash on your trade on any one of our road-ready certified used cars with warranty. You can't buy a better used car, and you can't pick a better time than right now. Up to 27% bonus cash for your trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Sunday, June 16th is Father's Day, so honor your special dad with a gift from Jelco Outdoors. Gifts for the working dad, fishing dad, hunting dad, hiking dad. Gifts for any dad. FN Guardian 556 AR-15s. Save $200 off. Now only $799.99. Fishing rods and reels for any dad. Hey Dude footwear for dad. Buy one pair, get a second pair 50% off. A great selection of Yeti products for dad. And Jelco gift cards are always a perfect fit. Shop Jelco Outdoors for dad this Father's Day.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with the best incentives in years. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service with Mercury, Malibu, Lowe, Camus, and Garmin will keep your boat in peak condition. Kofer's also has a fully stocked pro shop and updated RV and boat storage facilities. Find Kofer's online at Kofer's.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, helping their customers create a lifetime of memories for over 50 years.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. And you've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote. Get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, welcome in your Hog Update. Arkansas's kind of timing for their football season is out. Some of it, 100%, like the first 3 games of the season. UAPB, 6:30 on ESPNU. We've known that for a couple weeks now, a couple months now, if I remember that right. That's on a Thursday night, remember. 11 o'clock in Stillwater on ABC against the Oklahoma State Cowboys. UAB, 3:15 on the SEC Network, your first home opener in Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. Then we've got the other 9 games that are on the roster, like Auburn, which is a flex time between 2:30 and 7. And just to reiterate, the flex time is going to be finalized 6 days prior to that game. So that's Sunday before Arkansas plays Auburn, your first true SEC road game of the season. Will be figured out that Sunday. They'll put something out probably around lunchtime of when that game's going to actually be. Other games, notable games include the night game between LSU and Arkansas at home. You're going to have Texas. That's definitively at 11 a.m. on either ABC or ESPN. And Tommy, one of the important notes you pointed out earlier is Missouri is going to be an afternoon game on Saturday between 2:30 and 3:30.
Yeah, final game of the year on November 30th. We normally get a release or an update this time of the year that, hey, the game's been moved to Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. There are right now no Thanksgiving Day games on the schedule. That Friday we'll have the Egg Bowl, and then Arkansas will play Missouri in an afternoon game on that final day of the regular season on November the 30th. Also that day, some were wondering, and this schedule's been out, but Texas at Texas A&M will be a flex game. All these games, for the most part, Tennessee at Vanderbilt's going to be early. Arkansas at Missouri's in the afternoon slot. Then a flex game in the Iron Bowl. Louisville at Kentucky. Oklahoma at LSU. And Texas at Texas A&M all that day. So that'll be a big rivalry day in college football.
David and Alma texting in on the McLarty Daniel hotline earlier. Can we get back Arkansas against LSU after Thanksgiving? David, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Nope. I think that they have pinpointed Missouri as your traditional rival from here on out, and that is what they're focusing on moving forward.
Yeah. On Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, Egg Bowl, as I mentioned, also Georgia Tech at Georgia that day. Both of those will be ABC games in a doubleheader starting at 2:30 Central that day. So that'll make for a fun Friday, and Arkansas and a lot of us will have the day off. Kind of kick your feet up and watch some football. And it also allows, I guess, the team and their families and the coaches and their families, players and their families to maybe celebrate Thanksgiving a little more traditionally, at least for a few hours that day than what you've been able to do before, particularly when you're at home that every other year.
Yeah.
If it plays on that Saturday.
Ohio State and Michigan will play that day, like you said, as will Auburn and Alabama. So plenty of good college football that Saturday, not just in the SEC, but across the sport. Speaking of the SEC, Phil Steele has put out his all-SEC selections. Landon Jackson at the defensive end spot and Isaiah Satane at the punt return spot are all second-teamers. Josh Braun at the third team, and then Andrew Armstrong is a fourth team. So that's some football news for you this morning. Gabe Gackle, Colin Fisher named freshman All-Americans by National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association. The 27th, 28th, in Razorback history. Collins' injury, I think it was a little, under the radar, and maybe we should have focused on it more, not having him in postseason and down the stretch in SEC play. And then Gabe was fantastic as a true freshman, and hopefully he will continue to expand his game. I heard Phil say on the broadcast earlier this year, beginning the game, that he might be your Friday night starter based on what we saw for him in closing situations a lot of times. 7 saves, which led the team. Very easy to assume that might play out exactly as maybe Phil forecasted.
Yeah, if Phil would have a better understanding of kind of what it looks like. Portal's going to maybe change some of that, but, his name and Gackle, and also Dylan Carter's 2 names you'd probably like for next year to be in that rotation.
Last thing here in your Hog Update, you got Razorback soccer tickets on sale right now for just $35 for adults and $25 for youth. And I should mention AJ Green, according to Brandon Marcello of 24/7 Sports, is going to be out for most of the season. He had a conversation with Mike Gundy. That is not good for their squad. Now, they're loaded offensively. I mean, Ollie Gordon might be the best running back in college football. They've got one of the best returning lines in all of college football and plenty of other pieces around that as well. But doesn't sound like that AJ will be competing against his former team, your favorite team, the Arkansas Razorbacks. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You have to put up with Benny McLarty. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, so Clay's going to join us coming up. We do have the U.S. Open this week at Pinehurst, and I thought it was funny. I don't know if you heard this comment, but Rory McIlroy was asked about Scotty Scheffler, Tommy, and this is what he had to say about Scotty lately playing golf.
What is the most impressive to you about what he's been able to accomplish so far this year?
The fact that the only thing that took him from winning a golf tournament was going into a jail cell for an hour.
If you had to bet an arm and a leg on someone winning this thing, I mean, you got to put it on Scotty, right?
We're almost back to the point where we were with Tiger, where you could bet Tiger or the field. And I don't know if we're quite there. Scheffler's still got a little more to prove to get on that Tiger status. But it's as close as we've been since Tiger to have someone that's them or the field. And that used to be the common decision people would make when betting their money was Tiger or the field back in the day.
Yeah, the deal with me is, and this is going to sound not ignorant, but maybe shrewd is the better word. Like, I wish Scotty would let himself go a little more, but maybe that's why he's such a good golfer, is because he's so even-keeled, so steady all the time. But one of the things you appreciated about Tiger, and still to this day, is the emotions that he would let flow through him or flow out of him after marquee wins or after an insane putt or after a great or anything like that. Now, there'd be ups and downs, and we know it wasn't just on the course too, both. But it's like, you know what he's going to do. If he wins this weekend, he's going to go hug his beautiful wife, he's going to kiss his newborn, and then he's going to walk off, which is like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Maybe that's who he is.
And that is who he is. But it's you're talking about growing the game of women's basketball. Scotty Scheffler is as dominant as he could be in future years. It's very hard to like attach yourself to him, like many did with Tiger Woods. You've talked about the popularity of Arnold Palmer. I wasn't around during that time, but that is it's a weird chasm right now with the sport of golf, I would say, and what they have to deal with.
It needs a face. It needs a leader, and
Scotty is that, but it's like he's not as approachable. He's a
Tiger's
New Jersey kid that went to Highland Park, that went to Texas. And that's
not relatable to the
yes, and has always had money. But he's not a bad guy. It's just where it's at right now.
He's not charismatic. He doesn't have a dynamic personality. Hey, Clay coming up, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. It's Father's Day this Sunday. Treat Dad to the gift of camping all year long with a brand new Brinkley, Grand Design, or Forest River. They got bonus discounts and special savings all month long. So let's show Dad what adventure's really like with a brand new RV from Wheels RV, and tell him about the lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Wheels RV, again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Clay Henry joins us next.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This season, you pick the deals during New Holland's Ready to Roll sales event at WT Equipment. Get a new compact and save $2,300 cash back. Plus, choose 0 for 72 or add a free loader. You pick. Get 0% on select round balers and free net wrap. Or choose to pocket over $10,000 in cash back. NCBA member? Stack $2,500 off these already beefy offers. With work getting longer and budgets tighter, one choice is easy. Choose WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only Razorback store that is owned and operated locally by a family of U of A alumni.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback is the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
That's right. Hang on, what?
Yeah, I said it's the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
And that's what I thought you said, Dad.
Matt, don't egg him on. He's the reigning champion of his own conference.
Cool. Do I get a plaque or a trophy?
Anyway, folks, we have the largest selection of all things Razorback.
We do have pretty much everything a Razorback fan could want, from bedroom, tailgating, living room, hats, you name it, we got it.
You can give us a call at 479 Stadium. That's 479-782-3486. Or come by and see us at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville next to Baum Walker Stadium. Hey, Matt, you want to tell them about the interweb, Instagram, Facebook
Dad.
thing?
I think he means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. And it's Facebook, Instagram, and X.
What about Twitter?
You mean Twitter, not Tweeter.
And it's called X.
Wait, what? I'm so confused.
Yes, we know, dear.
Just remember, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon, mid to upper 80s. We end up with a clear sky tonight, low 60s. Blue skies, sunshine, low 90s on Thursday. And then Friday, we should see plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures on Friday, just over 90. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 78 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light. Brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light. Please drink responsibly.
But now, the once future champion of the world, the boy king who has risen to the throne and who will not step down. Look on his works, ye mighty and despair, for he has surpassed the kings of Egypt. With 76 Nathan's hot dog empire, a new world record, the number one ranked eater in the world.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
We here on this program eat meat. We're proud of it.
Is hot dogs really meat?
Yes.
Okay.
The all beef ones and the various other ones, or at least we like to call it that, but not the Impossible Beyond Meat or whatever the heck Joey Chestnut apparently has signed on for that could potentially cause him to be eliminated from the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. That's something we'll get to maybe at the tail end of the show. We are going to talk with Clay Henry about his recent column on hitthatline.com. The typical sounds you hear of the cicada hatching that hasn't necessarily been a big prominent thing in north central Arkansas.
Tornadoes may have ruined some of that.
Yep, Kalen Clark is still an issue this morning. I know Tommy and I have talked about that. Arkansas's football schedule. We know that the Texas Longhorns are coming in at Donald W. Reynolds Rangeback Stadium November the 16th at 11 a.m., either on ABC or ESPN. We'll talk more about the schedule coming up in just a sec.
Be careful with this hot dog deal. I mean, Clay loves him a good piece of tofu every now and then, so he doesn't mind a...
That's what I think of Clay Henry, tofu.
Tofu hot dog every now and then. Hey, let me first tell you about my friends over at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. That's exactly what they've become is my buddies when it comes to making sure that everything I needed to enjoy golf with my own customized experience was a reality. They customized an E-Z-Go golf cart, which is made in America. The reason I loved E-Z-Go is A, American-made, B, it doesn't have that lock-in parking brake. You know, you get out of one of these carts, you go to a course, and you forget to set that thing. It goes, you know, E-Z-Go, you never have to worry about that. It's the best cart on the course or in your neighborhood. So if you live near the course or you have the ability to have your own golf cart at your favorite course where you're a member, or you live in a neighborhood where the kids need to get back and forth, or it's easier to use a neighborhood cart, to go to the pool and go to the fitness center and go to the amenities in your subdivision, Arkansas Golf and Power Sports can do that for you. They can put speakers in it. They can put lights on it. They can put custom wheels. I had custom seats done, and they even sewed in little Razorbacks in the headrest and in the seat. It looks awesome. They got a variety of colors and fabrics that you can choose from to make it exactly yours and make your cart stand out and look different from anyone else. They've got a variety of styles with 2-seat, 4-seat, and larger if that's what you need. So the only thing that limits you is your imagination. They're friendly. They're a small business with the hospitality you're looking for. They will literally bend over backwards to make it the way you want it. They're in Fayetteville and they're in Little Rock. See my buddies Chris and Bennett in Fayetteville. They're on North McConnell Avenue. That's just off of the Garland exit off I-49. You can see them from I-49. It's the opposite side of Sam's. So go that direction, whether you're coming north or south, opposite side of 49 from Sam's, near the rental place. That's Arkansas Golf and Power Sports.
Is Dylan certified to ride that? Drive that? I say ride. Drive that just yet. Is there a golf cart license?
I bet Clay probably had to walk every round when he was a kid. I learned to driving golf carts. So I'm taking my kids out at night and afternoons or whatever and letting them drive the cart because I think that's a great way to learn how to drive. We did that last night.
Clay, did your late great father Orville, did you have to walk and caddy while he drove in the car? How did that work back in the day?
My dad, he carried his bag, and he would have a limited number of clubs, like a light carry bag, and then maybe only have like 3, 5, 7, 9 wedge driver, 3 wood putter. Light bag, and we walked. We played in the member guest at Little Rock Country Club one time and walked and carried our bags. I was in college at the time, so you didn't ride a cart then. But I grew up at Old Riverdale, which is close to where Rebsman Park Golf Course is now. My uncle Bill was the proprietor, and I was in charge of the cart barn. I had to get them charged in the evening, hosed out, cleaned, and then get them all lined up in the morning, by 5:30 or 6. That was my summertime job. And I had the middle of the day to practice and play, or, if you could play. But no, I never did, play in a cart. Now, my cousin and I sometimes, late in the evening after we've got everything done, we would play the course backwards in a cart. You ever heard of that? Mm-hmm. You played from one tee back to 18 green, from 18 tee. So they're all par threes. If you can imagine that, we did that sometimes. It was a blast. But I got one great cart story. Becca, who was about 11 or 12 at the time, stayed with my dad at Malvern, and he had his own cart in a shed at Malvern Country Club. And they went out to play, and you're talking about can Dylan drive. Mm-hmm. And Becca, all the way, just a 9-hole course, number 9, there's a pond right in front of the green. And the fairway kind of slopes down to that pond, and then you drive up over the bridge. And Becca had been talking about wanting to drive the whole day. And so my dad hit his tee shot right in front of the pond, and was hitting, and Becca's like, Grandpa, how come?
I know where this is going.
Grandpa, why can't I drive? And he says, well, you're just not old enough. You could. There's lakes out here, ponds. Well, he didn't hit the parking brake good, and she's hitting her shot. They're playing a scramble, like a 2-man scramble, just to make it easy on her. And as they're getting ready to hit the ball, the cart rolled down the hill, went in the lake.
That's tough.
And you can imagine what Becca said to Grandpa. I think I can drive as well as you can.
Oh, that's the situation. Tommy had presented the idea, like you kind of schedule out certain things now, right, based on where the time of day games are. You had suggested, hey, maybe we'll play a round of golf that morning before you watch the game that afternoon, or do various other activities. Clay, we have a better idea now. I'm not going to say the best idea because we don't know exactly when the game times are, but you do have a couple of them that are set in stone, including the Arkansas game against the Texas Longhorns, which you have talked to me about. Not only a chance to play them, but a chance to beat them, which Arkansas pounded them the last time they came to Fayetteville. That is going to be a team that is probably going to compete for the SEC, in my opinion, in year one. We'll see if they actually do so, but maybe what else stood out to you about this schedule besides what time that Texas game is?
Yeah, that's the main thing. You've got Am I right? The night LSU's the night game,
Correct.
right? So you've gotten that, and I wasn't so bummed out about the Texas game being at 11 because that is the window that ABC is going to bat. I don't know if you remember, but for the last few years, the Oklahoma-Texas game has been an early start. So those are kind of premium windows. The way they're going to really put a lot into that game. I'm talking about the network, ESPN and ABC.
Yeah, premier broadcasters.
Yeah.
It'll be
the A team there. And a night game in November, you don't know what the weather's going to be, so there's a better chance to have middle of the day weather better in November than at night. So I listened to. I've been up, I guess since about 5, so I listened to the whole show, and y'all had Richard on. He was talking about recruiting. And the only thing that I say about the recruiting window, just win some games. You win games, your recruiting's going to be just fine. It'll all work out. If you don't, it won't matter if you have night games, day games, morning games. The thing that has hurt recruiting, I think, in the last 10 years is just the lack of wins and quality wins. So I think that they're off to a really good start in recruiting. And go in Stillwater. Beat Texas, beat Oklahoma State, beat LSU. Win those games, get to 7 somehow. Then you got a bowl game, maybe you get to 8. I think this thing will turn around.
Oh, the Stillwater, because you're not just recruiting players. Let's be blunt about this. You got to recruit some of your fans. And if you win Stillwater week 2, that's a message that you just be probably the Big 12 champion / Big 12 runner-up this upcoming season.
It's going to be Oklahoma State or probably Kansas State.
Utah is another. Yeah, Utah might be another team that factors in. But that is that's a team. Here's the thing about that game, and I've said this all offseason. Oklahoma State under Mike Gundy is traditionally a 9 or 10 win programs. But if you look at their games early on in the season, they don't play well.
They take a little while to get rolling.
Yeah, and so it not only is it 11 a.m. like you talked about, Tommy, which is always something you want to have on the road. Always want that. But it's an opponent that, while they're going to be really good at the end of the season, most likely, they struggle and have tendencies to struggle at first. So maybe you catch them at the right time. Maybe I'm looking at the glass half full this morning, but that is a game that if you win, you immediately capture the attention of fan base, and maybe it's a signal to the SEC, hey, this Arkansas team's not the same team to be trifled with that maybe they were in 2023.
And it makes that September 21st game at Auburn all that more important. You play UAB the following week in your first Fayetteville game, but you talk about ramping up the importance of your first SEC game on the road this season, Clay. That becomes a mighty important game that I won't say it was a crossroads, but you go down there and win after beating Oklahoma State. You get to 1-0 in the league with a road win, 4 home games still in front of you. The outlook and the optimism will be a lot greater.
Yeah, and just the opposite is true if you're not successful and things start to get out of control. I think that you'll hear a lot of coach speculation. So those early games are really important for Sam Pittman, and I think we all know that. But you can set the tone both ways in those games that you're talking about, Tommy. And I think that Oklahoma State is in fact, I might write about that this week. It's just so many things hang on that game. I think it's big for recruiting. I would like to see Arkansas build their roster the way Oklahoma State does, and that's Texas. And there's going to be, with Oklahoma and Texas in the SEC, there's going to be more head-to-head matchups on the field that could set the tone for recruiting a little better in Texas. You've had Texas A&M, but that hasn't seemed to bring any magic to the recruiting trail. But if you're playing Texas and you're playing Oklahoma, that's going to be games that those high school kids in Texas, especially in East Texas and North Texas, that they're watching.
Yeah. Boys, I got to tell you, though, as I just continue to to look at the schedule. I still got to wrap my mind around and remind myself when I look at Oklahoma at Ole Miss or Georgia and Texas playing, those are conference games. I mean, it's still, I know that, but it just doesn't register on instinct yet. That's a league game this year.
So I'd sit down about, maybe a month ago, 5 weeks ago with Barry Switzer for 3 hours. And and I'll write something about this, the Hogs Plus. It's going to be a 3-part movie, I guess is how it'll be in August. And I'll write something for our website, hitthatline.com, on that interview with Barry coming up. But one of the things that we talked about is how Oklahoma is going to do in the SEC, and he was really blunt and said they're not ready for it. And he says our fans, talking about Oklahoma fans, better get used to 7-win seasons. And I said, well, what's it going to be like? And he said it's going to be like playing Texas every week. That's exactly what my dad said at the Board of Regents meeting, Board of Trustees meeting, when Roy Kramer came in. I mean, we'd known for a year that this was happening, but, you had to get the official rubber stamp that we're in the SEC. And I'm sitting with my dad, and I said, what's this going to be like for Arkansas? And he says, it's like playing Texas every week. In other words, you're playing a state university. You're playing a premier program, a regional power every week. And I don't think Oklahoma, looking at that schedule, how many games is Oklahoma going to win next year? I think Texas is more ready for it than Oklahoma is.
Oklahoma, I talked to you about this a week or so ago, Tom. They've got 5 or 6 losses on their schedule this year. I mean, Sooner fans that think Texas, I will agree, Clay, they are much more suited. And they lost a lot on the defensive line last year, a lot. And Quinn Ewers I'll say this, he might be the best quarterback in the SEC this upcoming season. But Oklahoma, they're transitioning to Jackson Arnold. I don't think it's going to go well in year one for Brent Venables. Not to say they can't have success in this league, but I counted 5 or 6 losses that they're probably going to have.
They get Temple, they get Houston and Tulane to open the year.
Win.
And should win those 3. We're just kind of trying to cruise through some of the schedules. It's sorted by date, not by team. But then their first taste of the SEC is Tennessee at Oklahoma. And, there's going to be some interesting matchups. And that'd be the first one that I'd circle right there, that if I'm an OU fan, I've got to be excited, Clay, about Tennessee coming to Norman, Oklahoma.
I think their first road game's at Auburn,
too. Yeah, until they get their butts beat.
Yeah, the following week they go to Auburn, and then the 5th of October, OU may be open that week, because I think that's the week ahead of the Texas game, and they are. And then the 12th, it's Texas OU. I guess they'll still play that in the old Cotton Bowl like they've done, but it's going to be a 3:30 game. 3:30. It's in Dallas, but it's a 3:30 game that day.
Now, is that Eastern or is that Central?
That is 3:30. I guess it's Eastern. Yeah, it's a 2:30 Central.
Oh, that is again, you got a lot to look forward to this fall. Arkansas's got 4 marquee home games. You got Texas and Oklahoma in the league. You both hate all their guts, and we'll continue to move on and talk about that moving forward. But first, we talk to Ryan in Hot Springs on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Ryan, welcome in. You've got some football you want to talk about this morning.
Yes, sir. You pointing out all that history with Oklahoma State, and I got some history to point out with you for Ole Miss this year. Why I think we got a chance to beat them.
Far away. Let's go.
So, do you know the last time they won in Fayetteville?
Was that John L? 2008.
2008.
Houston Nutt.
Yeah.
Houston Dale. Wow.
The onside kick.
So, that was Petrino's first year.
Yeah, that's when Houston marched back in here.
But yeah, so the 3 wins that they have in the state are all 3 at Little Rock.
So that's what Arkansas needed, right?
I guess so. But I just wanted to point that out. I've been kind of waiting for my opportunity to point that out. This whole rise with their portal thing is kind of reminded me of, I guess it was either 2015 or 2016. It might have even been 2014 when everybody made a big deal about their number 1 recruiting class that they didn't do nothing with.
Mm-hmm. That lost to Arkansas. Yeah, so Ole Miss, they play Oklahoma at home the week before. That's a pivotal game for them. Tommy was talking about that, again, Oklahoma and Texas traveling all these SEC venues they've never been before. Obviously, SEC fans want to welcome them in the most egregious way possible and beat their brains in whenever they play, whether it's at night, afternoon, the morning. But that's a big game. They have all the pieces except maybe quarterback. Ole Miss has one of the best defensive lines with the additions of the Florida kid, Walter Nolan, Texas A&M. They've added a couple running backs that are outstanding. They already had a good crew of wide receivers, and they added one or two more. Clay, I'm just not sold on Jackson Dart. That is and I know, you know more SEC history than I do. I know they've never won an SEC title, even with the great Archie Manning, but I think that's what's going to hold them back this year. Ultimately, is they don't have that dude at the quarterback position.
Well, they're excited because they think that their nemesis has disappeared, and that's Nick Saban. So they think that they're poised for a national run. The key though is not so much winning the SEC. It's just finishing in the top 2 or 3 in the SEC, because that potentially gets you in the national championship picture. The SEC champion, they might be at a disadvantage. The two teams that play in that game. There were so often. You looked and you saw, well, the team that didn't, that finished second in a division and didn't make the playoffs. Or the first 2 teams. You don't have divisions. We don't know how all this is going to play out, but winning the game in Atlanta might not be the ticket anymore.
But it gets you a bye, right?
I know, but you also play a game.
All right.
So it's you might be sitting at home and have a bye. Is what I'm getting at.
Here's Clay. You brought up Kansas. We were talking about the Big 12. Here's something to know that you have to before we close out and hit a break. Brought up Kansas State earlier, maybe one of the teams to factor in. Because of the way conferences are realigned, the way that conferences are going to work with this upcoming college football playoff, Kansas State is going to get a bye if they win the Big 12 over the second and third best SEC team. Think about that for a sec. Does anyone think that Kansas State is going to beat the second or best third team? Yet, they're going to get a bye over better teams than them, just the way the college football playoff is constructed. We'll come back to that when we come back from break.
All right, just a quick word for our friends Brett and Monica Good. They're with Collier & Associates in Northwest Arkansas and in Fort Smith. A dynamic team with Brett and Monica. Brett played with the Packers for 10 years, former Razorback. Monica's from Fayetteville. She was on the Amazing Race. You probably remember from there and won that several years ago. But they make a great team because they understand both sides of the tunnel and both markets. They've got a great handle on the Beaver Lake and Bella Vista markets right now. So a second home or forever home, they can put you in connection with that right now. Or you're looking to list your current home, give them a call and let them walk you through the process and hone in on that market value. 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292 for Brett and Monica Good with Collier & Associates.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, 97.1 in Camden and South Arkansas, and everywhere on hitthatline.com.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
House here in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Are you ready to give your family?
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And when the game's over, head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
Drive to deep left center field. There it goes. Another home run for Hudson White.
You can't slow him down. Absolutely amazing watching Hudson White just blitz the baseball now. An 11-game hitting streak. That's his 5th home run out of 6 for the year during this hitting streak.
Please rate and review the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Give us 5 stars to help us get our content out to the rest of the Razorback family. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, so we had a good football discussion last segment. We'll kind of treetop it as we continue on here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. We've still got our beefs to talk about. Clay's got a thought on Caitlin Clark. Everyone seems to have one way or another an opinion, so we'll let him share that. Plus, we got our SEC update to get to as well.
Hey, we've been talking about schedule and time, making plans. One place you should call right now is the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800. They're at the Johnson exit 69. I stay there often because it's convenient to anything I need to do in Benton County. It's convenient to get to campus, to a game, or anything that's in Fayetteville. It's just right in the middle of everything. And if you're planning trips for the LSU game and you know it's a night game, hey, get a Friday and Saturday night stay right now. The Tennessee game, the Texas game is going to be at 11. So you know when you need rooms and you know the nights you need. 479-443-1800. Don't wait, and then you dial them up in late September, October, and you can't get the availability you want. Now's the time. 479-443-1800. That's the Inn at the Mill, or online at innatthemill.com. It's where we love to stay in Northwest Arkansas.
Let's talk to Robert, who's in Fayetteville, on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Robert, you've got some thoughts on this football discussion. Fire away.
Well, I want to comment on something Clay said, and I think you guys were talking about it, but I've got personal experience in this, and I'm talking about for the past 2 years. I run into a lot of Oklahoma fans here in my store, and I run into OU fans when I'm at trade shows.
I'm sorry.
And I'm telling you, Clay hit it on the head. They think, Oklahoma fans, it's going to be a popcorn moment. We get to sit back and eat popcorn and watch them melt down. They honestly do believe, as a fan base, that they are going to dominate the SEC because they only think there's only 2 teams in this conference, and that's Georgia and Alabama. They literally believe that they are going to come into this conference and be in the top 2 or 3 year one.
Okay. Hey, I'll do
this. They
this.
do not understand that they're not playing Kansas State anymore.
Robert, I'll do this, and you can clip this. Everyone's listening right now. If Oklahoma makes it to Atlanta for the SEC championship this year, I will do a morning rush show of an Oklahoma's fan choosing, entirely naked. No, you can watch it on the live video if you want to do that.
No.
I will do the entire show naked, and it will make Tommy Christian uncomfortable seeing my pasty white ass for 3 hours. It is not going to happen at all.
I hope you do that, because that'll be the last time you're ever on the air.
Go ahead, Robert. Robert, you still there?
No, I think you grossed him out.
That ended everybody.
It's not going to, okay, like if you want to say that about Texas, if Texas fans want to come in cavalier, flamboyant, obnoxious, they went to Alabama and won last year. They proved that they can go into an SEC venue and do what it takes. Now, can they do that for 9 weeks or I guess 8 weeks? We'll have to wait and see. They have a quarterback in Quinn Ewers that's pretty stinking good, might be the best in the conference. But if you honestly think that Brent Venables, in year number 1, is going to take Oklahoma to an SEC championship, much less like 7 conference wins, you're nuts.
So what's going on at Oklahoma? And I've got friends over there. I mean, I lived there for 14 years, went to church with OU fans, OSU fans. You know, it was split right down the middle in our church.
Yeah, they need to be in church.
And, yeah, so Bob Stoops, just went on and on and on about how, the bottom end of the SEC wasn't any good. Well, they're about to find out if he was right or wrong, because those are the teams that get you. You get up for, a marquee game, and then, you don't have, a weak sister, coming in the next week. They're all good.
They're all hot.
And that's the thing that Barry Switzer notes. And it's defensive line. It's the same thing that Brett Bielema said when he came from the Big Ten. He had no idea that you could rotate defensive linemen in September, when it's hot. And that's what happens in the SEC. They have 10 defensive linemen. Those Big 12 teams don't. They expect to be able to throw in the third and fourth quarter when your defensive line is tired. Well,
only thing I would caution this proclamation on OU with, and it's a different day and time and different team, but everyone said similar things about Missouri when they entered. Now, Georgia wasn't Georgia then, and the East was a little different.
And Gary Tinkle.
But all they did was march to the first two SEC title games. Now, they didn't win them.
They were geared up for it, though, Tommy. The OU is not. That's what Switzer said. This is not vintage Oklahoma.
I agree. I don't think OU is going to either. But we all had it backwards. We thought A&M would be dominant, and Missouri would struggle, and it was just the opposite.
How dare you bring up a logical conclusion based on...
It's not a conclusion. It's just what happened, 13 years ago when they entered the league.
Yeah, and go back and remember what the SEC East was at that particular time.
That's why I said
Georgia.
That's why I said Georgia wasn't Georgia then.
Yeah, Florida had Will Muschamp.
Tennessee was down.
Yeah. Butch Jones was heading up the Tennessee program. A little different. Hey, are you trying to have a great 4th of July this upcoming season? Well, let me help you out with that. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks for your chance to win the USA Fireworks Bangin' giveaway. Chris Brewer's giving away a $2,000 fireworks show. For your chance to win, again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. And for wholesale prices, which means like half the cost, go to usafireworks.org. More of the Morning Rush as we wrap up the show with your SEC update.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is former Arkansas quarterback Casey Dick, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fitzman. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fitzman can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fitzman can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and control access for your business. Call the Fitzman and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
The Razorbacks have won it.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westart Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westart Plumbing. We keep you flowing. Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith, or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and we need your trade. This month, the trade-in acquisition event continues with up to 27% bonus cash on your trade on any one of our road-ready certified used cars with warranty. You can't buy a better used car, and you can't pick a better time than right now. Up to 27% bonus cash for your trade, another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
So a good chunk of the SEC schedule is out, or at least kind of a time period where many of the games are going to be. Arkansas fans know when they're going to be playing, or at least, again, around what times this upcoming season. Now, based on our last conversation with our buddy Robert over at the Stadium Shop, Oklahoma fans are pretty idealistic that, hey, we're going to come to the SEC and dominate. We might even make it to Atlanta and stuff. And I said whether stupidly or honestly, I'll do a show naked if they make it to the SEC championship game. I'm not in fear of that whatsoever.
I've never wanted to root for OU before.
Yeah, well, that's what Tom said. Kevin Hickey, our lawyer and friend, said that the legal department's on line one trying to figure out the parameters of that. But now I've given Arkansas fans to cheer for OU, he says, ? Or, as Clay said, get removed by the FCC from doing it. Is that even legal? Can you legally do that? I guess,
you're the one that proclaimed it. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out if we get fined or if
you're
forced to fire.
Really stupid things, during your time on the radio. But that may be the. I mean, to offer yourself up is what would you say, a martyr?
A martyr.
And go out like that, Ty. That would be, I'll take the pictures to make sure they get online and the FCC sees them.
Let's just hope it's not cold in the studios that morning.
We're not doing this in the studio. No, sir.
No, that'll be at Artie's.
No.
He said
corner of Razorback and MLK.
We could broadcast it.
Right there near lot 56 or something.
From the admissions building for student admissions. All right, let's get into your...
Clay just doesn't want you to be a malcontent.
You'd be arrested too, Ty.
Yeah, that's probably true. I think
that's the day you better remember to bring your wallet.
just to have.
Where's
a
he going to put it?
They're going to ask for identification.
Where's he going to put his wallet?
I'll tell you where I'll put it. All right, let's get into
I'll
it.
tell you where they're going to put it.
Hopefully not. Hopefully I don't get frisked
Clay,
there either.
I'm afraid if this goes down, he's going to be a malcontent.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
All right, move on.
All right,
Move on.
Phil Steele has 4
Sorry
Arkansas
about
players included in his All-SEC selection. They're not naked. They're fully clothed in
Inside
uniform. Let's see. You threw me off. Now I'm thinking.
Didn't take much.
Yeah. Was it idealistic?
Josh Braun's 3rd team. Armstrong's 4th team. This is really throwing me off. Landon Jackson's 2nd team, and then Isaiah Satania is the 2nd team punt return.
Yeah, when you got 16 teams, you have to have about 5 all-conference lists.
Yeah.
The first team, 2nd team, 3rd team, 4th team.
To that point, if you're now first team All SEC,
You're an All-American.
Phrase, it means more.
You're an All-American.
It's
Right.
a big deal.
With 16 teams and adding Texas and OU, I mean, we're talking a little bit out of both sides of our mouth, poking fun at OU not being ready, but seriously, with that many athletes in this conference, if you're first team All SEC, you're right, Clay. You're probably an All American.
I need to say this. Don't get me wrong. They don't have chopped liver on their roster. There will be a guy or two, or maybe a couple, that make the All SEC selections, and maybe a first teamer here and there. But as we've learned what it takes to dominate the line of scrimmage, or just compete, I shouldn't even say dominate, just compete the line of scrimmage in this league.
Well, here's what it will look like. You can take the All SEC and All Big Ten first team selections, and Clay, I don't know what order they'll be in, but that'll be probably your first and second round NFL draft.
Yeah, it's hard to make it through the season with your quarterback intact. I mean, that's what gets you, is that you're going to get beat up, and you better have a heck of an offensive line, because the SEC defensive ends are elite, and that's what happens is that you get sacked 25, 30 times, and your quarterback is not standing in Game 6.
Yeah.
So, and that's what Coach Switcher and I talked about, and it's just that the defensive lines and defensive ends in the SEC are a different level than all the other conferences. It's not. That's what separates the SEC. That's why Clemson had a nice run for about 4 years. They had 5, 6 defensive linemen. They don't now. I mean, if you remember, there was a year I was on the All-American committee, the football writers, and they nominated all 4 defensive linemen, both ends, both tackles, for first team All-America.
And all those guys,
they're all gone.
Yeah.
But that's what makes the SEC, is that those, Georgia, you've seen what they've had. Alabama, same thing.
Yeah, guys like Dexter Lawrence and Christian Wilkins who are having success at the next level, all a part of that defensive line. It was unbelievable. All right, more stuff in your SEC update. So they've got, again, not just Arkansas schedule, but think about the first day. Now, Arkansas plays this Thursday night, but the first lineup on ABC and the Sunday, you remember you got LSU and USC in Vegas, which is a game I'm definitely going to watch. So at 11 o'clock, you got Clemson, Georgia, and Atlanta. Then you go Miami at Florida in the Swamp. Then Notre Dame and College Station at Texas A&M. You talk about an opening Saturday featuring SEC teams, marquee game after marquee game after marquee game. Now, I think Clemson loses that game. I think Florida loses to Miami. I don't know about that Notre Dame game, though. That's the one that I'm probably the most intrigued by. USC's going to probably lose to LSU without Caleb Williams. But just kind of the opening weekend, that's awesome right there. That's back to back to back. Because sometimes the opening weekend doesn't have as many marquee games as we want.
So how much do you think your ESPN Plus subscription or your Hulu or YouTube TV subscription or cable or satellite's getting ready to go up? Not only with the SEC deal, which is a $1 billion plus deal with the SEC, but we were talking earlier about the NBA deal, the $76 billion total. ESPN's part was like $2.6 billion a year. I mean, they say trees don't grow to the sky, but it seems like they never run out of money to bid on these leagues, bid on these games, and you know who's paying for it? We all are in our own small way, but ESPN has really latched themselves to some hefty contracts.
Yeah, and I think the next one will be even bigger.
Yeah, and these marquee games is why.
Yeah, and it's, we may get to a point where everything is, all these games are streaming, that you can't, just turn your TV on. I mean, it's I keep waiting for one of these, these big streaming outfits, like Amazon Prime, just to take it all.
Well, when they figure out the previous button, where you can go back to the channel you're watching, and you can do it in the blink of an eye like you can now, when whoever figures that out first in the streaming game will win. Because that's the thing that holds me back, is to go from one game to another game during a commercial break or whatever is too cumbersome right now with streaming TV. But once they figure that part out, they'll own the world.
Then they're good to go.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be something that your voice activates it. That's how it's going to happen.
But it's got to happen instantly.
Yeah, I like to click. Yeah, I'm with Tommy. I don't want to, hey Siri, or hey whatever, will you change the channel to this? I want to be able to click a button.
Takes too long.
Especially with how agitated I get on college football
Saturdays. Already. I just looked at Jean in and said, "Can you do that?"
Is she in the room with you right now?
No, she's not.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe
she's
not.
Not listening. Her. I know exactly where she's at.
Yep. You mentioned the NBA.
She left when you said naked.
Yeah. You mentioned the NBA contract. Boston.
No, she left when we said tie.
Oh, that's a shame, man. I can't get any love from Clay, his wife, his daughters.
The dogs.
Tough. It's a tough world out here. Or the dogs.
Millie doesn't even like you.
Yeah, she barks
the
at
dogs
me.
Bark at you.
Boston, Dallas tonight, 7:30 on ABC. Plenty of SEC players featured in that. We'll see if Daniel Gafford and the Dallas Mavericks can bounce back after a 2-0 deficit. That is your SEC update, brought to you by our friends at Burton Pools and Spas.
And it is already warming up. We're not even officially to summer yet, but it feels like it outside. Swim in your own backyard this summer with an above-ground pool from Doughboy and Burton Pools and Spas. They have 3 showrooms now to help you pick out the pool that will make the backyard of your dreams come to life. They're in Greenland now, their newest showroom, Fort Smith and Springdale, where they've been for years, and they got the hottest deals of the year on Doughboy above-ground pools, up to $1,500 off. We're talking high-quality, 18-foot steel wall pools with payments as low as $75 a month right now at Burton Pools and Spa. So again, stop in any of the 3 locations, Greenland, Fort Smith, or Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
Clay, before we...
I will go over there and swim naked.
Yeah.
Listen, swimming naked at a pool is pretty soothing. Let's just be honest about that.
Like the stanzas. I was in the pool.
I can't see. Before we wrap up the show, Clay, you were talking in the break. You kind of had a different thought on Caitlin Clark than me and Tommy did.
Christine Brennan wrote a piece, and it made so much sense why she's not on the team. First of all, you put her on the team, she's not in the top 8 or so. She's not in the rotation. I mean, would y'all agree with that? Everybody's talking about, well, she's at least the 11th or 10th or 11th or 12th best player.
It matters whether or not she's one of the 3 or 4 best guards, because that's the position
but she's
she
not.
plays.
Yeah,
she's
she
not.
isn't.
Not top 12.
She might be, your 11th or 12th best player. So you're playing a game. And as soon as your team gets a lead, the crowd will start chanting, just like they are now. We want Caitlin. And it's a complete distraction for the team. It's embarrassment for her. She knows she's not supposed to be in at that particular
hang
time.
on. You think that would happen in Paris, France?
Absolutely,
there would be enough American fans.
Absolutely. Well, no, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter who was. It wouldn't matter. That's going to happen. And it would be a distraction. She doesn't want that, and I just think that's why it's not time for her. And y'all were talking about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan wasn't a hit, his first 10, 12, 14 games in the NBA. It was after he got rolling, and it was he had 82 games to do that. Mm-hmm. She hasn't had that yet, and
it was like a month after college season
ended. He would be a distraction for that team.
Yeah. And just to be clear, Clay, I was pretty outspoken that I thought they made the right decision on Monday when they left her off the team. I just kind of presented what's been said since then. So,
and I think it's the opposite. I think it's the wrong decision, because if you want to promote and elevate women's sports, she's the face of women's basketball. She's the face of female sports right now. She's possibly the most popular current athlete in our country.
Except she wouldn't be playing.
But she's still popular whether she plays or not.
But it would be. Well, I've already said what I've said, and I think Christine is right. She's laid it out the best. If you want to go find that piece, that she's and I think that's what the leadership was thinking. It's like, hey, we can't do that right now.
The great thing about this discussion is there's so everybody there's a really an even split on it. I think there's a lot of people on both sides of this argument. That's what makes it a fun discussion.
Well, she's not going to be on the Olympic team. Don't know if Joey Chestnut's going to be competing in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. By the way, I did get a text back from Jimmy Dykes on the McLarty Daniel hotline. He said it was wild, huge crowds back in the day when he would fly from Exonate to LaGuardia and take in that hot dog eating contest.
Worked on that broadcast that was one of his early assignments.
That's pretty cool. All right, that's going to do it for us, Clay. As always, buddy, appreciate you hopping in with us on
You're
Wednesday.
welcome. Thank you all for having me.
All right, good stuff from Clay Henry. We're back tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Feeling lucky? Because the Lotto jackpot is seriously over $2 million right now.